Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing Endurance League Season 4, Round 4 here at Silverstone. My name's King-Kodiak and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box and in control of the cameras, returning to my side, it is Doc.
Hello, nice. Can you have me, Mr. Kodiak? Oh, my game is lagging.
Always a pleasure to have you alongside me. We have got a pretty stacked grid. 32 cars are with us. And no sooner do I say that, the order changes. Or someone's unfortunately dropped out. Hopefully they'll be able to return. As previously, we have got 15 minutes of qualifying. Everybody comes out on track at the same time. Oh, it's Smolder getting a little bit up close to the personal with a couple of the Audis. Sorry, one of the Audis and one of the Ligiers. So, as you can see, it is darkness here at Silverstone. So, we'll be trying out how the lights work in these various cars. That's Llama. That was the Audi getting a little bit closer to the Corvette. He will probably be the lead car on track. Most cars have come out. And, I'm just saying that probably about half the grid is still in the pits, interestingly. I'm trying to sort of why we have a lot of people still not coming out. Maybe they're just waiting for the grid to disperse before they get their times out. Welcome to those that are joining us live. Always a pleasure to have you alongside us. So then, Mr. Doc, seasoned racer, what can we expect from 2 hours of Silverstone?
2 hours of Silverstone in particular, especially, we have seen this track in a sort of endurance type system back for the social events and the LMP8s, LMP2s and GTEs. The big issue I would say with these cars in particular, LMP8s and LMP2s getting through the field, is coming up towards Maggots and Beckett's. If you get stuck behind one of those slower classes coming through two of Maggots and Beckett's, you're going to lose a lot of speed coming through there. So I think traffic, especially at Silverstone, like in Daytona in that middle sector, is going to be a big issue.
Yeah, absolutely. The LMP1s have got a hell of a lot of grip, but they can't pass someone side by side, the Maggots and Beckett's successfully. So we're looking at Llama then, he'll be on his time lap. He's come on to the one into the straight, streaming on down towards Brooklands. That's one of the Corvettes in the background, and we are having a few issues. I'm just a little bit concerned that... that's someone rejoining the driver list. That's good. Every time the numbers flash red, you may have noticed it on the stream, it's just it's an alteration. It's not just a drop, although I automatically think it's someone that's dropped out. It's not, it's just either someone has joined or someone has left. Most cars are out on track. Who is now? There's any... Oh, Llama, that's not how you do cops, my friend. That's gone horribly wrong, but he's got time to get back to the pits and get that back underway. There is Smolder. Oh, no, someone else having trouble. We just saw one of the LMPs get very, very sideways coming through. I think that was Woodcut. He had a bit of trouble there. Will tyre temperature be a bit of an issue, being that it's obviously dark and therefore the air temperature is much colder? Will tyre temperature be a problem?
If these guys have set their cars up correctly, I'm assuming, just due to how the weather is right now, they are running soft, at least in those LMP cars. I want to say tyre temperature being an issue for the LMP8s and the LMP2s. They can use a downforce per se if their tyres are, or counteract those lower temps. But the GTEs could be an issue.
Oh, you're lagging a little bit there, Doc. I
do apologise.
Didn't quite get the tail end of your sentence there. As we're starting to see some time come on the board. Dakusa has got another time. Llama, Yorkie, as well as jumped back to the pits. He didn't manage to get a time on the board. Endless. Oh, TX3 Endless. He's got the top time, 141.5 in the independent weights. There's Brzancic as well. That's got a 147, so he's got some time to find out there. There he is in the Porsche. He's done a 147. That's kind of close to the LMP2 kind of time, so he's gotten held up or made a mistake. There is Dakusa, the current leader of the LMP2s. Oh, that's a little bit of an unusual line. He's exploring track limits somewhat. He's off to have a chat with the crowd. GTE's Cornwall has got the top time. And there he is in the Porsche. Now, that's interesting. There's quite a few times still to come in, so Cornwall may not necessarily hang on to the Class E. Andrex in the Aston. He took the class win last time out at Fuji. and that was by his own admission, he really was not expecting that. And again, he's not confident of his performance tonight, but we will see. Whoops! And that's nearly introducing himself to the tail of a Porsche there, but he presses on nonetheless. Let's bring up the speedo, please, Doc, just so we can see how much fuel these guys are carrying. Thank you very much. Bo in the Ford, third in class. What has he got on the time machine? 159.0. Paul one with a 157.7. Is there going to be any particular car that's going to have an advantage that you're aware of, Doc?
Looking at the field, the LMP2s are more likely going to be the same throughout the field. The LMP8s haven't drove those cars in this game in particular, so I won't be able to tell you that. But in the GTEs, I'm assuming the Porsches may be okay here. The altitude isn't that high, and especially with the downforce that car has mid-engine, it should work pretty handy through these tight sectors of Silverstone, Magnussen, Beck through set on as well.
Awesome. Starting to see most people getting a time on the board. We're back up to 31 drivers. Someone is having a real problem there connection-wise. It's bouncing between 31 and 30 drivers. We have still a lot of cars to talk about. Oh, Bo bouncing off the red limit there, but he has actually got the pole time in GTEs, 157.117. Oh, that is close. Just over half a tenth between himself and the Porsche of Cornwall. That's a very committed way of coming through Stowe, and sadly bit him on the backside. So that didn't work for him. Berserker has jumped into second in class. Endless now with a 136.2 in the LMP1. Yeah. So really reasserting his authority in the LMP180s. Berserker, about 3 seconds now. So 39.4 for him. That is Bo, as we previously saw. Let's see who else we've got. Brzezinski currently third. Andrex, of course, just demoted to third in the Aston. He's on 157.8, so he's only a tenth off. Oh, that's... Oh. I think did he get put off by someone's lag there? My camera went a little bit stranger. So either he had a lag moment, or I think he was distracted by someone who was, because that's not a normal way to come through Aintree.
Yeah, so he may have been slightly put off by LMP coming up behind him that hasn't got headlights on.
They do for me.
Oh,
they do for me.
Disregard that.
Well, I mean, that happens sometimes when there's a lag moment. Sometimes our gaming client sees things differently. Let's see who else we can find. Zenny is now top of the... Oh, Andrex, no. Again, that's not the first time we've seen a problem come out of Woodcote. So, not gone well for Andrex, but still 7 minutes on the clock. Still time to do something about it. Nunu in second in class now. He's jumped up ahead of Berserker, 139.3. It's bang on a tenth between Nunu and Berserker there. Very nicely done. Spudbuster jumps back to the pits in sixth. Brzezinski now fifth. Zenny, as previously mentioned. Who's that in eighth at the moment? I don't recognise that. I don't recognise SGA. Oh, Skarky. Yes, we didn't see you last time around. We're back up to 32 drivers. No, we've just had that change again. Back down to 31, I suspect. Yes, it is. So, still a number of times to get on the board. We'll see in the next 6.5 minutes where the order falls. Sorry about that, I have returned. I'm flying solo with my children tonight, so had to just quickly deal with them. So, well, we've got Leon then now jumped, excuse me, jumped to the top of the GTEs in the Corvette, 156.5. 143.78. Now Doc has had to do a bit of a restart, so hopefully he will be back with us soon. Otherwise, we're just going to stare at Leon for the remainder of the qualifying session. 4 minutes 40 to go. Nunu jumping to the top of the LMP1s now with 139.3. That's because we've had Endless has fallen off. That's not good. Endless has had to restart or rejoin. You can see him down there in 29th. That's a shame. He was pole by a good 3 seconds. Oh dear. Hopefully Endless can get back in session. As Leon then's going to come out as we kind of look at the floor. But we all know what it's like there. There's a roaring Corvette coming out of the pits. Zenny still leading the LMP2s. 145.321. And Berserker has just usurped Nunu then. 139.116. Nice. It is close up there at the top of the LMP1s. Let's see then. Esgarki still got some time to find. He's actually behind, or qualifying time-wise, he's behind Zenny. He will actually start ahead of him as the field is categorized in the normal way. There we see Andrex in the background there, getting out of the way of those coming through. Who leads the GTEs? It is the man we are looking at still. It is Leon. Let's have a look at who we can find throughout the field. Spudbuster in 5th, 143.1. Still a few seconds to find. That's Garki in 6th in class 145.5. Zenny, as we mentioned, is top of the LMP2s. Scott is 2nd, who is about half a second behind at the moment. That's number of the devil there, 6.666 behind the leader. Conor McCoy, welcome back to you. 3rd position, 147.181. Oh, Vaughan Tyre in the LMP1s down there in 10th. Oh, that's not a happy time. 147.524. Dakuza 4th in class 149.549. Borderline also in the LMP 180s has not had a good run of luck either. 150 point where was it? 150.3, and Doc is ready to rejoin me in the box. There he is. Welcome back to you.
I do apologise about that. I've just had to change the smaller music.
Technical difficulties befall us all, my friend. Don't worry about that too much. Although I am going to boost your volume a little, so a little quiet in comparison to my game. Not intended.
Mr. Kodiak just does not like to hear my voice.
That's
so we
total lies, as well you know. Right, are you back in session now, Mr. Doc?
Not right now. I am trying to load in.
Okie dokie. And as we just saw Leon get very, very squirrely coming through the village and coming through village. He didn't have his lights on, but that actually indicates he's not on a qualifying lap. You can see he now does. So he's telling the world that he is looking to improve on an already impressive pole time in the GTEs. So we'll see how he does. Pretty much almost everybody is out. A handful of people that are not, and 3 people are Endless, Jezza and Ulti, who have not set a time and will not have time to set one now. Only 1 minute 20 to go in the qualifying session. Oh dear, and Endless was the pole man in LMP1H. Now it has happened before. A gentleman's agreement has been put in before. Oh, as Llama jumps out into second, 139.2. A gentleman's agreement has happened before. If the pole of a class disconnects, they have been allowed to retake their pole position or retake their previous position. Oh wow, Leon getting a seat and he's squarely through Beckett's. No, I was going to say you could really have compromised your exit into Chapel, and that it did. So Leon back to the pits. That 30.
Unfortunately, I will not be able to jump in before it changes to the actual race session.
Of course, we are less than 3 minutes, so you can't rejoin as yet. Never mind. Oh, Enders has to put a time back on the board, and he ended up 8th. Unfortunately, we can't jump to him as our cameraman Doc did experience a bit of technical difficulty, has had to restart, and cannot rejoin just yet, but should be able to rejoin. Your button still says waiting. It doesn't change to spectate just yet. Yeah, that's. Oh, Yorkie 9th, 145.5. So he didn't get a decent run either. Oh, that's not good. Qualifying is done. The checkered flag is out. Berserker still holds the top of the LMP1. Zenny still holds the top of LMP2s. And Leon still has the top of the GTEs. So we'll see if anybody's able to improve. Andrex is down to 6th now on the GTEs. As I'm mentioning him because he was not certain he was going to repeat his surprise victory from last time out.
What we might be seeing in particular from the LMP1s, these people that are not setting good times, they might just be setting times that are in front of the people that are trying to take it easy, that are going to sit out, not set a time. They're just in front of the faster people who don't want getting collisions at the start of the race.
Endless and Yorkie have both set times in the dying moments of qualifying, 1:38.1 and 1:38.6 respectively. Endless retaking that pole spot and Yorkie right behind him as well. So that is going to be interesting as the race continues. Not many people out on track. TBW in the Porsche in 12th. Wasn't able to get below the 2 minute. And Jezza in the LMP1Hs will be starting last. He did not get a time on the board. I remember there being a Sir something, and I've forgotten what the Sir something was. But here we go. Qualifying is now officially done. We'll be able to see the order for ourselves. There it is. Endless, Yorkie, Berserker, Llama, Nunu, Brzancic, Warntire, Borderline, Spudbuster, Garki, and I think Jezza was the last of the LMP1s. Then it is Zenny, Scott, Alti, Colonel McCoy, Dakuza, Crop, and Sir Blastalot. That was the Sir for LMP2s. And Leon, Bow, Van Orman, Daru, Cornwall, Andrix, Smolder, Marauder, F1 Racer, Lindholt, Hunter, TBW, and Flecky on Sky are our GTEs. Right, you should now be able to rejoin me, Mr. Cameraman.
I am on my way.
Marvellous. Good, otherwise we would be watching Endless's race fairly exclusively. Which could well be a good race. Let's not let's not belittle that. It's just there's a few more cars out there than just him. So how many people made it to the grid? Now we do know that occasionally people have difficulties getting to the grid, but no, all 32 cars have made it to the grid. That is always good to see. So the front row are now interesting. It's not all Audis. Once again, Yorkie getting that Porsche right up there towards the sharp end. He's, of course, right in amongst the Audis there of Berserker and Llama as well. I think Nunu is the next Porsche in line, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can't really see from there. Go to the chase cam. Oh, it is an Audi. So, next one in line is Brzancic. That's the next Porsche. There is a Toyota in the lineup. There it is. Bouncing around there. And on 7th, that's Warntime. Then Borderline. Yost, there he is in the Audi, and Spudbuster in the next Porsche, and Garki rounding out our... Oh no, big pardon, he's, the next Porsche is Garki, and then rounding out the LMPs is the next Porsche in line, which is Jezza. Then our LMP2s, there he is Zenny, as a lead Scott. Now primarily these are going to be... Wow, I mean, I'm getting a lot of kind of... Their rear wings are just a bright ball of light. That's really bizarre. Oh, Alti did get a time on the board. It starts 3rd in class. Very nicely done. Colonel McCoy in the orange car in 4th. And then you got Dakuza in 5th. Crop in 6th position in that white car. Very nice. And the next orange one is Sir Blastalot. As was Joey again struggling in the LMP2s. He starts at the tail of the field. Then the GTEs is Leon in the Corvette with Bo in the Ford. Very nice performance actually in the Ford. We don't often see the Fords towards the sharper end. Nice effort there. Van Orman, next Corvette in 3rd. Daru, yellow Corvette in 4th. Cornwald, lead Porsche, 5th position. Then Andrex, Sol, Aston Martin in 6th. Smolder, the next Corvette in line as the field now gets underway. This is a rolling start, so they will do a formation lap before we get underway. There's the Arsol M6, which was Marauder. As we have a look at our front guys. Oh, it's a Toyota, beg your pardon, not a Porsche. I incorrectly labelled York as the Porsche runner. I forgot that's the Toyota. It's in. So for those
in particular, I do want to check. Has Andrex selected the correct setup and not made the same mistake from Daytona?
Yes, has he? Well, we'll know if he spends half a day in the pits and joins us in the commentary box. So F1 Racer was the next one in line we were looking at, who is in 9th in class, 28th overall. That's Marauder. There he is in the next Porsche. And Lindholt directly behind him, black Ford. That's can't tell from that camera angle, but he isn't a Ford. The camera is zooming in on him. You can just about see him in the middle. Then he's got the next one along is Hunter, which is in... Oh, is he in Aston? Oh, yes, Hunter is Aston. Okay, we've had a Soul Aston for a while. Now Andrex has a teammate out there. TBW, Porsche, and then Flecky on Sky in the final yellow Ford. So for those new to the series, this is a rolling start, so the formation lap... Ah, perfect, that's just what I was about to ask for. You can see that the LMP1s are just coming through Magnus Beckett and through Chapel. The LMP2s have just gone through Cops, and the GTEs are heading towards Cops. So we will have 3 separate starts, and they will be forming up the 2x2 line around about Stowe. And the speed will drop to 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometers. Oh, excuse me. 80 kilometers an hour. There we go. They looks like they're getting into line now. So it's round about Stowe is the formation point. Once the leader, which each class leader, so Endless, Zenny, and Leon, once they have crossed the start finish line, or once they're on the start finish straight, I should say, it is up to them to signify the start of their respective races. We will endeavour to try and keep up with all 3 classes, but it's invariably very difficult because there's usually a lot of racing going on in the front class by the time we want to try and check in on the next one. But there we go, that's the nature of the beast. As Endless then leads this screaming pack of LMP1s. And away we go. We are racing in Silverstone. Endless, of course, having the advantage of a decent start, but look at that on the inside, Berserker. Oh, wow, that was a huge moment. There were lots of cars flying up the road. Oh, no, huge incident. There's a borderline that was involved in that, and Spudbuster's lost his rear wing, I think. Oh, and Llama is involved. What a shame. Terrible start for the Audi. Oh, that was a huge, huge incident. Oh, the LMP2 since then he has got the LMP2s away, and that's someone that was going very sideways. I think it was Alti and caught it. Oh no, that's one of the orange LMPs. And Sir Blaster has gone off. He'll actually rejoin from the left. That's Scott that's hung onto the back of Zenny. Now our GTEs, how do they fare coming through the first few turns? Through Abbey, through Farm. Leon, of course, has gone into a bit of breathing space. Looks like the GTEs have been pretty clean about it. Oh, both side by side with Dawu coming into the loop. That's very, very close. Oh, and he's managed to hang on to that. There's Andre still in 6th position. He's got a lot of people around him, of course. Oops, that's F1 Racer wandering off the road of the Porsche. Still side by side the Ford on the Corvette. We can see coming into Brooklyn for the first racing lap. Wow, goodness me, I did not expect that kind of level of chaos. It's a particular...
I would say... Sorry?
No, go on.
I was going to say at the start when you were explaining the race that T1 is probably going to be a very interesting part of the opening lap. A lot of dirty air because you are so close to that car in front of you. Even in those GTEs, I was expecting a bit more carnage just due to the fact of cold tyres, cold brakes, following a car, it's going to push you wide. And I guess the GTEs took it a bit lighter than say some of these faster classes did.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy when you're that close to others. It's very easy just to kind of go into full race mode. Despite the fact that we're here for 2 hours, Jezza has made it into the pit, so he didn't escape unscathed from the LMP1s. So we're looking at Daru in the Corvette. It's a Corvette 123, I think, at the moment for the GTEs, which I think was kind of the expected form. Bo has fallen behind Daru. There it is. Should see the lead. There we go. Oh, Jez is going to have a penalty as well. Spudbuster is in. We saw he had no rear wing.
Oh, we cannot see. Can't see on those cameras.
That's a helpful camera angle for us. So that, of course, means that those LMPs will have to fight their way past the GTEs. Now, as far as the faster classes coming past the slower ones, we see Llama sizing up borderline. Oh, Scott's had a problem. He's fallen down to 10th as well. He didn't have to come into the pits. He was up there in... Oh, Scott's LMP2. Yeah, of course he's listed right behind Llama. He's actually leading his class. Scott has actually overtaken Zenny for the lead of LMP2. Because it's absolutely impossible for us to keep up with everything going on. There is a car stranded out there. I can see on the map someone sat still. Unless
Let me see.
Unless there's a retirement. Is Hunter sat out there? Oh
yes,
no!
Oh.
A rear wingless Aston. There's somebody else that's just got underway as well. Oh dear. Oh, Spudbuster. No, you've just been through the pits. Please tell me you didn't get tangled up with that Aston of Hunter. Hunter is not moving. I suspect that's going to be the end of his day.
Yeah. I think Spudbuster's just left the pits.
Ah, that would have been... Yeah, so he
T2.
probably... Yeah, so he probably wasn't involved in the incident with Hunter. We don't know what's happened there. We just saw that his stricken Aston. He still hasn't moved. He is still in that particular position. There's Lindholt with blasted on the LMP2. We saw he was one of the orange LMP2 that has had trouble, but he'll come past the black Ford fairly easily. Now, as I was saying earlier, as far as the faster classes lapping the slower ones, it is the onus is on the faster class to come past the slower one. The slower classes don't have to jump out of the way, and it's encouraged that they don't. So that's just so that they are more predictable for the faster classes to come through. Andres has fallen another couple of positions. He's now down to 8th. That's Marauder in the BMW that's come past. What's Jez's penalty average? I bet it's a 10-second speeding in the pit lane one. It is.
Yes.
So didn't slow that down quick enough for the pit lane. Long way to go.
What I'm interested in now is just seeing the race only just started on lap 5 currently. Endless has already pulled a 5.2 second lead on P2 in the LMPHs.
Yeah, Endless has had a bit of a mixed season, I think, in the LMP1s. So he's looking to kind of reaffirm his authority. He's already catching the back of the GTEs. Again, this is what you kind of normally find. This is the view. It's such a narrow view in these cars. I mean, not that you need to see the sky, but there's an element that kind of always makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And that's exactly what Doc was talking about in the qualifying. When the faster cars catches the GTE or a slower car in a slow... Oh no! That was Marauder and Andrax that was caught up. Where are they? Oh no, that is... I think it was anyway. Oh no, it's the Hunter going again. No, the Hunter is out. I swear that was an Aston that was facing the wrong way. But where's Marauder? Marauder is down to 29th, so it definitely was the M6 that we saw. I didn't see who was caught up with them.
It doesn't seem like Andrax was already up to speed again. That wouldn't have been possible, so I'm assuming we may have a rogue Aston out there somewhere.
If it is, I don't know who. Gonna need you to take over for me for a few minutes again, please, Mr. Doc.
No worries. It's surprising currently though. We have Berserker, who is catching back up the Endless due to that small mistake coming through traffic. He did get slightly sideways, the arrow being pulled off going through that left-hander. It seems the race has calmed down slightly. We have had some issues currently coming through, but the LMP1 seem to have stretched out slightly. More likely going to see now coming in the issue with tyre wear, conserving fuel for these faster classes. In the LMP2, currently in P1, we do have Scott with only half a second lead to Zembo, then behind about a 3-second lead to Ulti, and then GTEs currently in P1. We do have Leon with a quite comfortable 4.5 second leadish, currently coming through to that back sector 2 section. And then behind him, around 4 seconds behind, we have Mr. Van Omen, and just behind him, around 3-second gap, is Cornwald. We have had slight issues so far through this race with GTEs stepping in and some collisions through there. To be honest, the start for the GTEs was absolutely fantastic. Not much issues, getting slightly really there from Dawu, that rear stepping out of it. I'm assuming these guys here are going to be running a bit more downforce than they are. They're going for that faster speed through Maggots and Beckett's, but trying to run as little downforce as possible for these straights, at least in these GTE classes. The gap between the Brzankic and Skarki is coming down. They are moving through the GTE field right now. Oh, and that was pretty close, unless that was an LMP2. Yes, that is the orange LMP2 of... like... I actually do not know which LMP2 that was. That was... yes, it was Blasterwop. I guess he has fallen back quite a bit due to that incident that did happen at the start of the race. He did have to come in and pit. I'm assuming he is going to be trying to come back to try and get into those point positions, just to get a couple of points leading up to the end of the season. Cornwall still down in 8th for the LMP2s, only 6 seconds behind Blasterlot. And Lama and Brzankic not really losing any gap between them. A second's been sticking between them for about the past lap or two. And just in front of them, we do have Borderline in that fantastic Audi. Now what we are going to see here, it has passed around the 30-minute mark, is these cars starting to settle in, trying to set into their groove. We are now, if I can figure out the lap times, I do apologise. Yes, we are now around 7 laps in. The LMPs are coming through the GTE field and the LMP2 field now. People are going to be settling, trying to set a rhythm, just run their race. Especially in the LMP1s, where if they use too much fuel, they might have to come in for another stop, especially these Audis that only have 50 litres compared to Toyota that has, I believe it was 70 or 80. See if we can figure that out. Now, so these Porsches only sitting at 49 right now, around 15 litres, 12 litres more than Endless currently has. He's getting a bit wriggly coming out here, and I guess that's due to the low temps in tyres, the track being that slightly bit colder than what these guys possibly could be running through for qualifying, causing the car to act differently than what they thought. The downforce surely helping them out coming through these more tighter corners. Now we'll see if I can pull up track for you fine gentlemen. The Zenvo is still missing. That gap has came down, sticking with about, oh, and they are 3 times close to each other. And we will jump on board with Zenvo whilst he tries to chase down Scott. Might be sticking with him, sticking in that draft, trying to save fuel slightly. As they are coming through this last 3 corners of the track, GTE to come through, possibly trying to get by this GT as fast as possible, clear them before T1 so you don't lose much speed. We are going to see Zenvo possibly back off here, especially not to lose much air. And he does push wide coming through. That dirty air is affecting these high downforce cars a lot. And I believe I heard a Mr. Kodiak back.
You did, yes, apologies for that. Not only was I flying solo with my children for the first part of the broadcast, as is actually normal for Thursdays as my wife is out, but my wife reappeared with bandages on her knee and blood, so she'd fallen over.
Oh.
So nothing serious, just something I had to kind of deal with for a few minutes. So yes, I am back, and hopefully, oops, borderline, a little bit too much on the exit of the cops there. So yeah, Zenny and Scott having a bit of a battle there for the lead of the LMP2s. With a, oh, that's close. And that's rather what we were saying earlier about the faster class, is the onus is on them to work their way past the slower ones. It wasn't up to the Porsche, which I suspect might have been TPW, to have to jump out of the way. It's not up to the GTEs to jump, it is up to the faster class to work their way past. There's Marauder in the M6. Ah, so it was F1 racer. Oh no, that's not gone well.
Zenvo.
Oh, ouch. Zenny has now been punched in the face. Has he stalled? No, he's just waiting for a clean spot. He's waiting as much as it's going to cost him time, but we have a long way to go. Oh, looking at the chat, Hunter, your wheel cut out. That's, oh, what a shame. But your partner in crime, Andrew's now back at the 5th in class, I see. TBW up to 6th, so he's having a decent run in the Porsche. But this is very much keep it clean and out of trouble, and you're going to do pretty well. Smolder in the yellow Corvette in 7th, chasing one of the yellow beats. Everyone is having a lot of trouble at Cops, I'm noticing.
Yes, coming through there, I'd say with these long straights, you don't want to run much downforce, but then you've got those fast right-handers through Sector 2, and you got Maggots and Beckett's. Trying to run as little downforce as possible, whilst also trying to use as much downforce to get through those sectors quickly. And I'm assuming some people may have taken off a bit too much from the rear, making that rear a lot more squiggly.
Just
so
jump
to get through the corner.
Sorry to interrupt you, Doc. Can you jump to Spudbuster in 16 for a second?
Oh, what has happened to him?
I think because I saw someone stranded at Maggots whilst we were chatting. I was trying to figure out who it was, and I wonder whether Spud has had a bit of a problem, or either that or Joey, who's the white behind him, the LMP2 behind him. So there doesn't appear to be any damage on their cars, but, and they're not coming into the pits. So whatever it was a isolated incident. No one else caught up. Sorry, Doc, I interrupted you mid-flow there.
I've absolutely forgotten what I was going to say now.
How dare I? Let's say.
Yes. Mr. King-Kodiak leaves me to commentate by myself when I've never commentated before.
And then I cut you off mid-flow.
Yes. What are you doing?
I hereby stand as told off. Now, that's an interesting thing I'm just noticing as well. Endless and Berserker, 2 seconds apart. So Endless has lost some of his lead in the LMP1H. He lost some of his... Oh, that's very close. And this will be why. That's Lindholt in the black Ford. That he's now going to do an outside manoeuvre around Club to get that one done. But of course, Berserker is not too far behind. Berserker now making his way through that same pack right in the middle of it. Ooh, 3 wide. Yeah, we know what that's like. Not at that corner, but me and Doc have a bit of a 3 wide history here at Silverstone. That's Endless then working his way past one of the heavily represented cars, the Corvettes. There's a lot of them are yellow, so we don't know which one is which. Visually, oops. That's dedicated coming out of Aintree for one of the Corvettes. But they are 20 seconds ahead, or 18 seconds for Berserker between themselves and Nunu, and that was 25 seconds earlier on. Oh, hello.
I'm walking on the inside, coming through. Is that T3?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's coming through the loop, now coming through a Aintree. And yeah, Nunu just got all crossed up there with a GTE another NMP there, getting rather in the way, and Yorkie now up to third, so he's had trouble as well, because he was he was front row at the beginning of the race. Obviously I have missed some of the race that's gone on, so something's happened to Yorkie, someone along the line. So even the greats are making mistakes in this race. Oh,
yes, it does look like he's driving away though.
Yeah, Ulti has just lost third in the LMPs, I just realised, so that's 12th overall. What's happened to him? Oh dear, that's you're missing a light on that one, which is not fun in the dark.
It does look like a slightly indented left front. They might be suffering a bit of camber issues.
See if he's going to come in the pits. The Stowie's just come through. So, nope, not interested in bringing that in just yet. So, either that's damage he's been carrying for a while. Zenny could have just, if LT is damaged, he may be a little bit slower. And Zenny has come through. But Scott is way off in the lead. Obviously, Scott and Zenny, we saw previously, was having a great battle. That's not 12 seconds that separates the front-running LMP2s. Quick flash there from Scott, thanking the Ford, but he just come past, perfectly allowed to do so. Leon in a league of his own out there in the front of the LMP. So that's Colonel McCoy in the LMP2 in 6th behind him. Then Van Ormen is a little bit of quick maths. What is Van Ormen behind?
12 seconds.
Nicely done. No, 8 seconds I think between.
Oh yes.
Quick maths is working for one of us.
I said quick maths, not correct maths. So you haven't asked for one or the other here, Kodiak.
Yeah, they are mutually exclusive. So ultimately, and this is what we're fighting. Wow, I didn't really think about this actually, but this is something that our racers are going to have to find, is that pretty much the entire track is going to be very busy.
That is an orange car off one of the LMP2s.
Let's Joey!
Yes, Blast-A-Lot.
Blast-A-Lot, beg your pardon. We were looking at Joey initially, but yeah, Blaster again. struggling in that LMP2 here at Silverstone. Now he's having to pick a moment to come back on track very, very carefully. If he's got damage, he's only just come past the pit lane exit, so he's going to have to crawl a long way if he wants to get that car repaired any time soon. That's Smolder. That's got some of the LMPs coming past him. Oh, that was rather aggressive by the Toyota. I think it is behind him, cutting off the LMP2 in hot pursuit. Now coming through Stowe, heading on down towards the final few turns. Wow, what a that's one of the LMP2. That's not Zenny. I've forgotten who it is that runs that colour scheme. The LMP2s, but they should be able to catch the inside coming through Club. Smolder continues on his merry way, but wow, Andrex now to 4th in the Aston, 10 seconds ahead of Smolder. There he is. He's pretty much equidistant between his, Smolder and Bo. Bo running the Ford, so the front-running Corvettes have had issues of their own. Wow, 58-1 from Leon, 59-2, 59-4, 59-5 for Van Olmen, Bo and Andrex respectively. So yeah, Leon really is enjoying tonight's race. Enders then continuing his lead up front by nearly 3 seconds, and they've rebuilt that lead, that gap between themselves and what is now Yorkie. That's now 23 seconds between second and third.
Well, this race is coming to a calm down point.
Yep, as is the norm. So,
why don't you let us know how this?
Oh, one of us is lagging there. You may be having a bit more technical difficulty there, Mr. Doc.
No lag on my side. Should have been.
That might have been me then. That might have been me then. Apologies for that. So what I'm also going to do is just to remind myself of where we stand championship-wise. Let's do exactly that. Bring up the championship standings. So whilst I do that, Doc will remain, of course, in charge of the cameras. I can hear them all buzzing away, but I can't see them as I'm looking up where the championship stands. Okay. Oh, I'm lagging slightly. Oh, that's not good, as I'm the host.
Oh, I think you are okay now.
It might be because I was clicked away from the actual game itself. My PC having a bit of a moment there. Now one tyre.
Midlife crisis.
Now one tyre actually leads the LMP1s, winning the. So he was 5th in the first round at Monza, won at Daytona, and was 2nd last week. Last fortnight, last race at Fuji. Endless with the 2nd and 1st in a DNF. He did not finish in Daytona. Disconnected from that. So Endless with it all to do. 3rd is Lucas, who isn't with us in the R18. 4th, 2nd and 4th. So he sits joint 2nd rather with Endless and Yorkie. Only a few points. So there's not a lot of points actually up top that separate our front runners. So we didn't see Yorkie at Fuji. Yorkie has, by his own admission, stole the win at that amazing finish we had at Monza, where several of the front runners, Enders being one of them, had to put into the pits for a smash and dash, and Yorkie just had enough fuel to storm through and take the win. And that, of course, is another factor that will be playing into this race. The Toyota having a bigger tank than the Audis. The Toyota and the Porsche indeed having bigger tanks than the Audis. Where do we stand fuel-wise? Let's have a quick look at where we are.
Endless is currently at 22.9 in the Audi. Berserk also in the Audi is 23.8, so around 1 litre. Then Yorkie in the Toyota is actually only up by 34.8, only 10 litres or so.
No, that's not as much of a difference as I was expecting, but then the Audis should go through their fuel slower than the Toyotas do. There's a worn tyre, the current LMP, whoops, getting slightly out of shape on the exit of Aintree. He's got 34 litres, so let's see what our LMP1s are doing. What's Scott doing in 10th? What's he like for fuel? 37? Pretty healthy amount. Jez has got 39 in the Porsche. Yeah, he's been through the pits, so has probably taken on a little bit more fuel, but not a great deal different to the Toyotas. Zenny, 34, so decent amount there. 33, 33.3 for Alti, so again, not much difference there. Now the GTEs I would expect to be having a lot more fuel.
Yes.
And there's Leon, 54, yeah. Nearest damn it, 54 for Van Orman. 54 for 4. Well, they would have started with full tanks and 58. You know, the Aston having a slightly bigger tank, I believe, only by about 5 litres, which is how much more he has. So, yeah, they're all going to be on a similar amount. There's not going to be. I don't think any of our GTEs have come in. We have lost another from the race, though. We lost Hunter early on. No, I'm not going to be able to identify who it is that we've lost unless they make themselves obvious in the chat.
All we do need now for this GTE class is
oh dear,
that is
TBW.
TBW going in with an Audi.
Good spot. Never fun when you're facing the wrong way.
Who was that?
It's near impossible to identify which one it is. So
we will find this.
We will. Now our LMP2, Zinni is leading the way at the moment with 2 wins. He won at Monza and 1 at Fuji. I believe he was disqualified from Daytona, I think. But Scott wasn't at Monza, won at Daytona and was 2nd at Fuji. So our top 2 runners in the LMP2s are indeed, and top 3 indeed, because Alti is 3rd. 2/3 and a DNF for Fuji for Alti, so that is sitting as you would expect. Let's have a look at our GTEs. Andrex actually leads the way. There he is in 4th. 2nd in Monza, didn't finish in Daytona because he had, as we mentioned earlier, Andrex nearly having an argument with one of the Porsches. Oh, that's very close. Oh, lag.
Yep.
At least we both saw that one, so we did see what we thought was a lag moment for Andrex earlier on. That's highly unusual. Usually Andrex's connections is as stable as a rock. Oh, we've lost another. We have lost another.
As stable as a Scottish man can do to an English servant.
I am not touching that one with a barge pole. I think we've lost Joey. Yep, I can't see him in the list anymore. We have lost Joey from LMP2. So 11 GTEs, 7 LMP2s, and 11 LMP1s remain in the race. 29. Well, that's not too bad, I suppose. 3 cars gone in the first quarter of the race. We should still have a decent amount by the end. Even at that rate, we'll have a decent amount come the checkered flag. So Andrex and Smolder actually are joint top of the GTE table. So and they are 4th and 5th at the moment. Smolder getting 5th and 2nd. Dawu is 3rd in the Corvette, winning at Monza, 4th and a DNF for him. And Hunter, sadly, Hunter is in 4th. That bit's not the sad bit. It's just the sad bit is the fact that he couldn't complete this race. Marauder jumped quite a long way up the field. He was 7th twice, Monza and Daytona, but got 3rd at the rain-soaked Fuji. So that helped his campaign somewhat. Unfortunately, finds himself at the tail of the GT field at the moment, but still a long way to go.
So once the race has got to its relaxing point where everyone's setting into their groove, Mr. Kodiak, you have been at this track before. Tell us a little bit.
You've been waiting to lead that one, haven't you?
Well, would you prefer that, or would you prefer the free wide movement coming through the right-hander? Well,
they're both leading to the same point, so let's get this out of the way. In not the default league that's just finished, that was the Ginetta G5, the GT5s. In the Ginetta Juniors, the G40s, which was the default league before the one was completed. Oh, that's a very reshaped Porsche that's just got through the shop. Oh dear, that's not going to help you. Yes, me and Doc were. I nearly said we were teammates there. We were anything but. We were
rivals.
Very much rivals. And we were doing Silverstone National in the juniors, and I'd been stuck behind Doc for at least half the race. Final lap, and we were in 5th or so. It was a pretty decent position we were in. And I was like, I've got to do something.
I believe I believe that race was the one where it was second and third. But we were racing for P1 for that race, and that's why I got annoyed at you.
I'm not sure it was P1. We were right up the sharp end anyway,
yes.
Irrespective of which position we were in. And we ended up being 3 wide. Doc was doing an inside manoeuvre on someone. I cannot remember who the third part of this picture is. And I was, in an act of desperation, went for an inside manoeuvre on someone doing an inside manoeuvre, which ended up with Doc on his stream going, he's not doing it, he is! And also Andrex, who was actually following us at the time, said, don't do that! I backed out because I thought that was a really ridiculous manoeuvre to do, and I lost at least one position doing so, and unfortunately that put Doc completely out of his rhythm and ended up collecting Andrex, who was my teammate at the time, 2 corners later.
Let's first clarify that he didn't back out just before entry.
No, it was mid-corner. It was mid-corner, yeah. I'll take that one. It was actually at the point we're looking at, it was here. It was first corner in that layout is Cops, and it basically turns right, cuts from Maggots through to Aintree. So that's the section that we're talking about. And yeah, Doc was not pleased with me, as I can perfectly understand, and has never let me forget it since. And in fairness, I've referenced it completely independently of Doc many, many times. So yeah, it wasn't my proudest moment. I didn't do very well in the Ginetta Leagues just finished either. So yeah, Ginettas don't seem to do well for me, it seems.
They do give good racing, though.
Oh, don't they just? The Touring Car League we had as well. In between... oh, no, sorry. The Touring Car one was the one before the G50 League. The GT5 League, which just had. It was the one before that. That was the G40s. Ooh,
yeah,
whoa.
so it was two mid-seasons ago.
2 mid-seasons ago, yeah. Battle for second here in the GTEs. Coming back to the race we're actually staring at. As one of the Porsches then comes past the pair of them. Oh, that's so close. As the chasing Porsche was looking to get past the Corvette and back onto the racing line, and we can see the sun's now beginning to rise. Oh, steady bow going from very early. I love the fact that we cannot hear the Ford engine whatsoever. All I can hear is roaring Corvette, which I am not complaining about at all. I'm not a fan of the Ford engine. I adore that Corvette roar. They now come
Look at that straight line speed difference.
Beautiful. And is that all going to be setup difference, you think? Oh no, that didn't go well. Is that all going to be setup difference, or was that just, Bo may have been a little bit cautious coming out of Aintree?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Even if Bo was being careful coming out of Aintree, he was in the slipstream. He was almost totally on the road of the Corvette. That might just solely be down to car performance. I know the Ford has great downforce levels, and that's why it is doing quite well here at Silverstone in particular. That might be why it's losing out on these straight line speeds. The Corvette might be set up to disregard a bit on these tighter... Oh, no. Bo had to absolutely clam on the anchors then to just stop the car spinning off into the dust. And yeah, there's that dirty air effect that you mentioned earlier, Doc, in full effect. This is exactly where you want what little downforce you've got. That's where you need it, coming through Maggots, Beckett's and into Chapel. Of course, you don't have it to the degree you need it when you're chasing someone. Of course, unless these guys have been practicing chasing cars, it's very easy to simply not be used to how the dirty air effect really upsets the air over the car. Yes, even especially for some of these people that have been driving, especially in P-Cars too, or even original P-Cars, or even general sims that have been doing it for a long time, they still will get struck out by it. Dirty air affects differently on each car. GTEs, you might not be expecting that much dirty air due to the fact that it's more mechanical grip inclined. But you're going to get that aero push, and it's not going to be a happy time for you.
Indeed. So, half an hour gone. 1 hour 24 remains of this 2 hours of Silverstone. As the Peters has gone screaming past, has cleared Van Ommen in that black and green Corvette. So we come through Brooklands into left field. Oh dear, I wondered whether it was Spudbuster that had the reshapen Porsche.
I'm assuming that is just a visual glitch on our side, because he seemed to go behind.
He seems to be handling it okay, doesn't he?
Yes.
It could be.
Technique Porsche's being invested into.
Just no nose on the front of the car. I mean, that would create a weird kind of aeroflow off the back. So, and it would make the driver's legs exceedingly cold, I would imagine. But wow, unquestionable airflow. I mean, you couldn't get a wider radiator intake if you tried. He's not letting whoever that is behind him.
No.
It's not DeCousa, who's position-wise behind him. Although DeCousa is an LMP2. No.
Is it Sharky or the one behind?
Oh, Llama has got a face. That is DeCousa. I think it might be Garkey then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Garkey. Yeah, well spotted. So, but yeah, I would imagine then that damage must have been repaired because, he is a god with a rearranged car. Maybe
I think I figured out the issue they have. What Porsche's figured out for this race in particular, they slammed the radiator closed and took off the nose. Great airflow, great engine.
Unfortunately, this isn't a three-way battle we're seeing, as Borderline, who is the Audi behind the Ford, is chasing Jezza for that position, but the Audi in front is not the car that Jezza is actually chasing. It's the car that's lapped Jezza, sadly. So, we've seen quite a few penalties on the board, so a lot of people struggling. Oh dear, what's happened to Endless? He's got a penalty on the board, and he's now second. Only a second penalty, so these are mainly track limit penalties. He's in.
He's in.
He had 9 meters
That's
still
a
to
lot,
go.
yes. A lot earlier than what I was expecting.
He must have had an accident of some kind because his previous lap was 1:49. So he's lost a whole bucket load of time and the race lead to Berserker. So he's had an issue of some kind. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to sit in there for quite a while. There is Berserker now leading the way, coming through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight now with, well, you can ignore Endless's position. So he's 30 seconds ahead of what is now second place Yorkie. He's just opted to. He must have had an accident. He must have had an issue of some kind. Let's have a look at what penalties we've got on the board so far. Well, we did just briefly look at them. So Endless with a 1 second, Warm Tyre with a 4, Llama 1, Jezza 11. We saw him get that 10-second penalty very early on. Zenny 1, Ulti 3, Spudbuster 5, 11 for Colonel McCoy. There's probably another pit lane 1 and a track limit 1. Andrex with a 1. That's exceedingly rare. And Sir Blastalot with a 1 second in 1 as well.
The Sheriff is probably kicking himself for that 1 second, but...
Well, unfortunately, sometimes it is quicker just to take the penalty.
Yeah.
It rather depends on the circumstances, of course, but yeah, very rare from, as you say, the Sheriff. He is a stickler for track limits, is our Andrex. But yeah, like I said earlier, even great to make mistakes and look at, and I think Llama's just put his name on the penalty board as well. I think it was him that I'd just seen pop up. So where is he? Llama. Another 1 second penalty there. So yeah, he has just popped up on the penalty board. So everyone is really struggling to keep it clean. But that's the nature of multi-class racing when you are constantly in traffic. Yorkie then now getting to a similar lap pace to Berserker, but they're not going to have much. Well, Berserker doesn't have much fuel left, as we can see. We know Yorkie's got a bit more in the tank.
Way coming up on the back of Van Omen. Yes.
Indeed he is. So that's a battle for second in class we were looking at earlier, the Ford chasing the Corvette.
So that only took him 2 to 3 laps to catch back up to the rear of Van Omen, losing about 2 seconds.
Yeah, good point.
Exiting that Maggots and Beckett section. So Boy might have the speed, he just has to prove it and get past that Corvette.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one thing catching someone, it's another one passing them. You've got to do it cleanly. You can't be barging your way past. Well, you can, but you'll be up in the stewards if you start doing things like that. But yeah, he's, as you say, he lost a tremendous amount of time. It looks like he's now 2 seconds behind Omen again. So may well have just not handled Maggers and Beckers and Chapel particularly well this time around, but he was definitely within a second before that particular issue. Ooh, a bit of a twitch there, so may have come a bit hot into Vale. Fawn is hot. That was a terrible tie-in.
That was an incredibly bad tie-in.
Oh, Zenny and Scott are close together again. There they are. They're just a second apart. That is the lead battle for the LMP2s. So there was a bigger gap between these two. And Zenny has closed Scott back in again. And this is the thing, when you're in an endurance race, part of you doesn't really, well, I would imagine you'll be able to answer this, you probably don't want to have the next position bearing down on you. You know you've got a fair way to go. We're fast approaching halfway, or half race distance. Oh, there goes Zenny. Oh, we saw Scott actually have a twitch of tail, but Zenny saw the twitch, said, I see you dancing, I can do far better than that, and throws it royally onto the grass. He's now got... That's Alti right behind him. The orange one, as he was given a flash of lights to, that's a lap down. Colonel McCoy, perhaps?
That's not.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
No, that's not sitting behind him. So
not.
I reckon it's Colonel McCoy is 17th. It is. Yep, that's the other.
You are the correct one this time.
It happens occasionally. Try not to make a habit of it. Try not to make a habit of it. So yeah, he will have to get out of the way if the leader or someone on a different lap in your own class is coming up behind you. You have to obey the blue flags. And he's not in a hurry to do it, in honesty, but that could well earn him a bit of trouble. And Crop is in, so that's for 5th in the LMP2s. He had a very empty tank, so we're looking at, I think, around about 2 litres a lap, give or take. So yeah, he had no choice. He had to bring that one in. Oh, that's getting very busy over there. Bo is choosing to get out of the way. Oh wow, Bo has lost a lot of time on Van Ommen for a couple of laps. As Doc was saying, he had closed back in on Van Ommen, has now lost a good 2 seconds at least. Part of that may be traffic, but I think it's just, you make a mistake and it's very easy to make the same mistake again, unfortunately.
All time, I thought this was a race going through the night. Now seeing the sun come up, these drivers may be on hard tyres, well, these GTEs, which caused them to have less grip at the start of the race, but be faster at the end and not have to change tyres mid-race.
Interesting.
If that pays out for a majority of them, then that... Oh, and there goes another LMP.
Zenny's
Who was
in.
that?
I didn't see it, unfortunately. Alti?
It was a white LMP.
Ah, I do. That's one of the LMP1s, I think. I'm not entirely sure who.
Might have been Jezza? No, couldn't have been.
No, it isn't important. Either way, Borderline's in.
Oh!
Oh, that's... Oh my, have you been lifting and coasting? Have you been lifting and coasting, Borderline, or did you just... or is your quick maths of dance side better than ours? My God, sir. Your pit crew could literally kind of... And that is literally empty. I mean, he's in the pit lane. He will... looks like he'll make it. Okay. You literally can't time it closer than that, isn't it? Oh, Berserker's in from the lead. Oh no! That'll be the LMP you saw. There's no rear wing on that car.
Oh,
that's a problem. I mean, it looks like it was your scheduled stop time, but I doubt you wanted to be here that long. Oh, as you kill a lollipop man. Oh dear. So that's a big problem then. Berserker's going to be in there a very long time.
I was wondering if he had lost his nose also.
Possible. Alti. Oh, Yorkie's going to come through to take the lead. He's still got another 10 litres on board, so that's Spudbuster's interesting redesigned water. Yeah,
I can't help myself but giggle when I see
I know exactly what you mean. All I can really think of is like really cold feet. Yeah, man, definitely not hot. With no nose, yeah, through the night as well. That's That's pretty darn cold. One tyre now up to second.
If you think about it in the long run, no nose, less weight. Also, did you just take out the cooling system?
Yeah, no cooling required whatsoever. Dakuza and Ulti are in for LMP2. That'll be scheduled. Yeah, 3 litres for Dakuza. Ulti is now back on the way. 75 litres on that one. That's F1 racer in the Porsche. He's chasing Lindholt. Lindholt's not having a bad time in the back forward. As that will be Ulti coming back out on track. Still at 29 cars. Yet to lose another, which is good. Scott is in for the lead of the LMP2s. Yeah, fairly scheduled. Probably could have gone another lap, but if that's when he wanted to come in. That's such a terrible camera. Staring off into... where that camera is roughly where I watched qualifying from Silverstone this year, ironically, but I'm sure that's not quite the effect that Project Cars was aiming for.
No, that camera was implemented for you and you alone, Mr. Kodiak.
Garkey comes in from 7th. Assume that's... Oh, that's early. He's got 12
that is very
board.
early. Oh, and there goes the rearranged Porsche slightly wide.
Yeah, interesting that he's chosen to come in now with 12 leads on board. Lana, then in 6th. No immediate danger. Garkey, as I just said, he's in the pits, nearly 22 seconds down the road. Razanchik is 14, nearly 15 seconds down from here. There he is. In the Porsche, pretty much minding his own business.
It's Scott on the exit. Yes, just coming out of pits now. Going to be coming in. Still of the lead of the race. Yep,
he maintains the LMP2 lead. Zenny is behind him, 2.3 seconds just before the braking zone. So that's worked out well for Scott. But of course, Zenny's got 68. How much has Scott got fuel-wise? 74. So there is a significant fuel difference there.
Yes, looking at the time right now, I know these the LMP2s in particular, they'd have to make a 2-stop unless you were conserving fuel a lot.
Yeah.
But almost indefinitely, you'll have to make a 2-stop with taking half fuel at the end. It's cost about 45 minutes, 50 minutes on the tank of fuel. So we are going to see a second stop. Might be why we saw some of these guys come in slightly bit early. It doesn't really possibly matter as much to them. Yeah, you want to be running the car low fuels for as long as possible, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely. The LMP2 is very much your area of expertise. You were in the LMP2s for season 2, season 3. Was it last season or one before?
I believe it was last season. I don't think there was a season between. Yeah.
You and Domino flashing the pink and black Nissan DCAs, I seem to recall.
Yes, and we will be coming back for, well, at least I will be coming back for 2 races of this season.
Oh, hoorah!
I will be racing at Spa and Indianapolis.
Oh, yes! I'll have some of that.
I heard that both of them are on the schedule, and you know me, I can't miss those tracks out.
You can't have an IndyCar, though.
I'll just imagine my LMP's an IndyCar and just not look up.
It's an LMP. It's just got slightly big wheels.
Yes, I just can't look up because the sky's too bright.
Ulti has come in from 3rd in the LMPs. I think. Oh wow, he had a 3-minute lap last time around. What's happened to Ulti? Oh, he's gone. Oh. We've lost Ulti. He had a 3-minute lap last time around. And so he's had a big incident and he has retired. Ulti from 3rd in the LMPs as Daru comes in from the GTEs. Oh dear, Daru's having a terrible run today at Silverstone. Zenny, and wow, Zenny's closed in that 2-second gap very, very quickly. Now there's about 5 litres worth of fuel difference. Is that going to make a significant difference in speed and handling?
Speed and handling wise, I wouldn't say so.
Oh, Andres!
may have been some choice words said there, right there.
Yes, I imagine so, but it didn't seem to cost any. And
Yes.
no one flew off the road, so very well handled. As Llama comes in from 6th position in the LMP1s. Sorry, Doc, you were saying?
I think 5 litres wouldn't do much, maybe 0.2 of a kilometre, but nothing more than that. Handling, you won't feel a difference at all.
So probably Scott's made a mistake somewhere for Zenny to close in, you know, two odd seconds in a lap or so.
Might be also as well, Scott has had to maybe change tyres and had to heat them up, causing him to lose that speed and increase the speed over the laps that those tyres do require to be heated up.
Well, then the leaders of the LMP2s in championship and track position cross swords and are not looking to let up whatsoever. Yorkie still hasn't come in from the lead of the LMP1s, but Endless is right back up to speed, getting back under the 140s. 139.6 last time around. 23. Oh, no sooner do I say that, and in he comes in. 2.6 litres still in the tank.
Not getting it as close as the Audi as Berserker, but
That was borderline.
giving a slight for him.
It was borderline.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, he wins that trophy. That was unbelievable. Like, ending 0 litres when he hits the pit crew. That's amazing. And one tie's in as well, so first and second have come in. Oh wow, that's a lot of cars coming past the start finish line right now. Berserker then, there he is. Takes the lead of the race. Endless is not going to be far behind. There he is, he's only 6 seconds indeed behind Berserker. Berserker is not likely to make it easy on Endless, so he's going to have to do a lot of work. Whoa, Zeddy! Getting very, very interested on that top spot in the LMP2s. That's very close. It does look like blood splatter on Scott's camera. That's what it keeps making me think. I was like, wow, you hit someone very hard. Oh, wow. That was. I'm not sure that was an intentional. I wonder if we had a bit of oversteer there, but outside move from Zenny. Oh, wow. What a move coming through Abbey. For Zenny, side by side, he's going to get the outside line then for Village, but doesn't hold on to it. Wow, that was very much out of nowhere, but such a statement of intent by Zenny there to try and get the lead. That certainly would have woken Scott up. Oh no, that's one of the LMP1s wandered off the road. Not totally sure who. It's impossible to tell. Oh wow, that's close. Who could that possibly be? Oh no!
Oh!
We're going to have to find out who it is now. No, not Llama. No, keep going. It's the only way to find out, unfortunately. It's not Garky. No.
Not 10 years these.
Not Spudbuster again, surely. No. Oh, might have been.
No, couldn't have been.
No, it wasn't. It was a white LMP, wasn't it?
And he's too far at the track.
Unfortunately, we don't know. It's not easy for us to tell when they're not on the same map. So unfortunately, that was Marauder in the M6. God, that was close. That ended up being an unfortunate participant in that particular event. Brezanchik has just come in from 7th. Might it have been Brezanchik, I wonder? Not likely, because he's got. Well, if it is, that it happened on his scheduled pit stop. His lights are working, and he lost 8 seconds that lap. So I think it may have been Brezanchik that was the spinner in that particular incident. But he only has 2 litres in the tank, so it was his scheduled stop anyway. Zenny still chases Scott for the LMP2 lead. Through Abbey once again. Down.
Looking at how these two cars are racing right now, we are going to see this fight if neither car makes a mistake all the way to the end.
Oh, that's
never giving up.
One of the Porsches royally jumping out of the way, either by design or by falling off the road. But yeah, I mean, we're reaching halfway stage in the race, and this is something we kind of touched on before, is do you push or do you just kind of run your own race? It's very hard not to think, oh, that's the lead, or that's my next position, I've got to go for it. It's very difficult to kind of keep that under control.
Yes, I would say here in particular, maybe back when you're at P4 or P5, and get by this car, it gives me 50, 55 minutes, an hour and a half, whatever, to catch up to the lead if it's a large gap. But here in particular, if they're fighting this hard now, they're wanting the position. They're not wanting to sit behind the other car. They're wanting to try and get past, try and build a gap so they have that area of safety to then maybe run slower pace towards the end of the race.
We've lost another from the race, unfortunately. Oh, wow, Zenny again on the outside of Stowe. He wants the inside. He's going to try and box Scott in. He's nosed ahead. Oh, Scott was a little bit cautious there with that Corvette on the outside, but it does look like Zenny has had the pace over Scott since the pit stops. Now the LMP2 lead has changed hands. Does Scott have an answer as they come charging on down towards Abbey again? He's nailed to the back of his fellow rival. So now it's going to be the opportunity. If Zenny does have more pace than Scott, now is going to be the time that he's going to prove it. He's going to have to prove it because Scott is not willing to let him go.
This is very much going to come down to, at this point, setup-wise, is Scott running maybe less aero, faster straight line speed? Is Zenny and we're doing vice versa? Where are they going to catch each other? It does look like Zenny faster in these tight corners, maybe slightly slower on the straights, but we don't know. Maybe it's be driving style.
We have genuinely no idea. Through Woodcote. Oh, that was close. Yeah, storming Toyota there. Oh, Scott! Oh, on the inside of Cops. That's the location where me and Doc had our. Well, that was where it started. It ended there.
Almost the same.
Jezza comes in 6th position from the LMP1s as Scott unfortunately lost. Oh wow, he's lost 8/10 as a result of having to kind of back out of that particular manoeuvre.
One thing I am seeing right now, up in 2nd position, Endless, who did have a 11-second time difference, 1:38.360, 2 seconds faster than Berserk last lap. Wow. And bringing it down, it was 8-second gap at the start of this lap, just coming out of entering sector 2, and he's already brought it down to 6.5. Oh.
He is on another level today. He is absolutely storming on. Is Berserker going to fight him? He has every right to. And when you're in the lead, especially if you're running your own strategy and you're fairly confident the car behind you is on a similar strategy at least, you would be surely inclined to fight them, not just think, oh well, I'm not going to be able to hold them. But I mean,
yes, what it might allow is hold them up and allow their teammate to catch up, and at that point get more points for your team.
Well, yeah, there is that. I mean, there's 50 seconds between Endless and Yorkie.
If that wasn't the case.
I mean, he would pretty much have to punch him in the face and send him off into the dust. So that's quite an extreme hold up there. But of course, Berserker is in an Audi, whereas Yorkie, as we've seen, is in a Toyota. So that theory doesn't hold. Wow, what
the gap again, closing down at 1.4 seconds that lap, and let's go with those 1:38s consistently.
That's scary pace.
Yes.
And no one in class is anywhere near that. Not even just. It's not just Berserker. Maybe you could argue maybe he's made a mistake or got caught in traffic. Not a single other car is close to that kind of pace. So that just goes to show how incredible Endless is doing.
Are we able to speed past this lap time for timing?
Yes. 37.6. Christ, that's. I mean, that can be aided by slipstream of others, but again, that just goes to show no one's anywhere close. We've lost another from our race. It's one of the LMP1s that's gone. Unfortunately, only 9 of those remain. Down to 26 cars.
Currently, right now, looking at timings, if that penalty holds up for Berserk, he is technically currently standing in P2.
Yeah.
What I would assume, at least if myself personally in that situation. myself personally in that situation is maybe let Endless by and not fight, so then you can keep that 10-second, at least the 40-second technically, gap to P3 and just run a lap, stay P2, and if Endless makes a mistake, it drops 10 seconds, that's P1, rather than trying to, if you don't have the pace or feel like you don't have the pace, holding them up and holding yourself up, and...
Yeah, I mean, that's what the sensible head says. But when the visor is down and you're in the lead and you're fighting, it's very hard to kind of think, no, come on, let's bring that back in. We have less than an hour to go, so over the halfway mark, as our GTEs are now beginning to come in. Van Almen, F1 Racer and Lindholt have brought their cars in. I would imagine to see most of the GTEs coming at a similar kind of time. Endless may have been caught out in a bit of traffic there. I'm not sure he's quite on his first Spudbuster. Has brought his car in again. Yeah, 42 for Endless last time around, so didn't go so well in the traffic. Van Almen in the Corvette. He'll be taking... Oh, there's Lindholt. He did come in previous. He come in before the Corvette did, so out he comes. Van Almen and... Oh, Van Almen is still out there. F1 Racer was the other one that pitted. There is Leon, GTE class leader, and has been all race long.
We are probably going to see him come in this lap, unless he can push. I'm assuming 1.7 litres in extra lap. We are going to see him come in here.
I would imagine so, unless he has an amazing fuel saving technique. No, in he comes. There was no point. He's 12 seconds ahead of Bo. Bo's having a great race today. Oh,
that was a very slow entry.
Yeah, I don't think he got right where the pit line entry was. There is Bo, so he's actually that's cost Leon an incredible amount of time. He actually stopped at the very first line, which is incorrect. That's not where the speed limit starts, where we've seen everybody else do it, and Bo just don't say, and yeah, I thought that would happen. Leon's actually got a penalty. I bet you that's a 10-second one as well. There he is. Yep, it's a 10-second, and those ones, that was entirely his own fault, unfortunately. That's those ones don't get appealed. Andrex is in as well. He's in third now. In class, 1.4 left in the tank of the Aston.
I'm very interested to see where Boy comes out in comparison to Leon. Maybe Boy is fueling just slightly to get out in front of Leon.
I imagine so, and Bo would have seen that gap drop. And there goes Leon. Smolder is in as well. Out goes Bo. The next Corvette in line is in. We should see Andrex drop unless... Oh, is Andrex taking new tyres? I think he did.
Unless that was an accident or on purpose.
Yeah, he could have had an incident. But he's going to come back out in third, I think. There is Omen. Fifth in class. Andrex just about beat him, I would think. It kind of depends on where he can drop the limiter. Oh, that could be close. Get the right one, there we go. You have my sympathies, it's a hell of a lot harder than it sounds. I know, know exactly the troubles you have. Especially when you go for a name and it moves.
Yes, especially. But Omen, nope, that
3 seconds, yeah.
Just behind 3 seconds, yes.
So not a lot between them. And it's going to have it all to do to keep that Corvette behind him. Endless is now 2.5 seconds behind Berserker. But last lap Endless lost him a couple of seconds on Berserker, so that's been very to and fro between those two. Scott again!
Back on Zenny.
Scott is hot once again on the tail of Zenny. Half a second between the two. And that must be slightly frustrating as well. If you think you're faster than the person you've just gone past, and then they are stuck to your rear wing, you know damn well they're there. And you can't just assume they won't go for a gap, so that's going to be quite distracting for Zenny. So yeah, it's like you said earlier, Doc, this battle has got a lot of legs on it, yeah.
And Endless, we only just said 2.5 seconds.
Oh god, that's gone.
Just at the end of Sector 1.
Wow, Berserker may well have been caught in traffic. Obviously there is, that's Andrex, I think, well it must be his sole Aston now. Endless rather, is absolutely alive. So they have lost a bit of time to Yorkie, but I mean Yorkie's still 50 seconds down from this particular battle. So he's not really going to be featuring much unless, of course, they fly off the road. This battle, however, very, very different stories. Scott on Zenny as the Ford and Porsche are minding their own business there. Spudbuster's up the third. Oh, of course, Spudbuster's in LMP1. That's what's confused me there. I keep doing that because the timing at the top doesn't show which class they're in. So that only shows the raw track position, not class position. Oh, Scott, right under the rear wing now. Very much. Oops! Oh. It's so easy to do that, though, especially if you're in the dirty area. You just push a little bit too hard. It's so easy to get crossed up, but Scott held that brilliantly well. Now, as they come through Woodcote, streaming on down towards Cops and Magazine Beckett once again. Now, one thing I can tell you out of personal experience on Luffield is a great sound box. The cars that wouldn't normally be as loud as you would think are basically amplified by the fact that you've just got barriers all around that section, so the sound just bounces around. And I inadvertently proved that to myself because when I watched Silverstone all the way. Oh, Scott's slow. Scott has slowed right down.
Yes.
I wonder if he's avoiding a penalty. He might have had a corner cut warning there.
Oh!
Yeah, I just saw that. Berserker and Endless. Endless flies through on the inside of. Oh!
What?
That was someone flying off the road. I wasn't sure it wasn't Spudbuster again, was it? 11th. No, wasn't. Don't know who that was that flew off the road there. That's Stowe. Could have been Berserker.
Yeah, could have been.
No, he's
couldn't have been. No, wait.
Oh, Berserker's stayed right with Enders though. I mean, why not? If you can gain a few tenths staying in someone else's slipstream, why not? But he didn't really put up that much of a fight. He left the door open on the inside of Stowe and flew through Endless. So he's realised that he's not quicker than the car that is right with him. That put Berserker off a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that Corvette just caught him out a tad. He slid off the road. I now have my cat coming to join me, so he's going to stand in my way a few times.
Yep. Can we get some commentary from the cat, please? Well, we don't want the bear anymore. We want the cat.
Yeah, we want the cat. He says purr.
Perfect. Yes, Scott lost
very
3
good.
seconds last lap.
That was an inadvertent pun there from you. Yeah, he just kind of backed off there. I'm assuming, because he didn't hit anything, I think he just was avoiding a penalty. And as we can see by the red numbers on the overlay there, that how many people have a penalty of some description. And the drivers will be able to see, a few positions forward and backwards from themselves who's got what penalty. So he may have just thought the tactical game, and that's what we're looking at now. Where is Scott?
Then he has got the 2-second penalty, and Scott has no penalty. No, it's an LP1. P3 in the LP2 category does have a 10-second, and then P4 with Colonel McCoy has a 14-second.
Yeah, Colonel McCoy is adding to the collection there. Quite a few 10-second penalties on there, like Flecky and Sky and Lindholt towards the tail end of the GTEs. That's unless they've just got lots of corner cutting. That is the pit lane speed issue. TBW's brought his Porsche in from 6th position. He's been there for a while. He's taken off fuel. There is Flecky in the yellow Ford. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of the GTEs in.
We may have seen them, or it may have been a bit too. Oh,
yeah, we have had a lot going on. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Oh, my cat's dribbled on me. Oh, lovely. That's nice. I'd add that to the stream.
Yes, even your cat is enthralled with this race.
Yeah.
Can't seem to get enough of it.
Indeed. That's Marauder in the M6, keeping well out of the way. Berserker has fallen a second behind Enders. I think that's going to be Enders off into the distance, unless, of course, he has a problem of some description. The Audis will absolutely... I would think all of the LMP ones are going to have to come in again. And more than likely the LMP2s as well.
Dot seems to be dropping off. That's another 3-second loss. I'm assuming possibly might be having a system malfunction.
Also possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be having a wheel trouble. That saw the end of Hunter earlier on. So, absolutely possible.
Hopefully he isn't having the pedal issue that I had through the Elite Series of GT3.
Which was what?
Where my brake would... No, my throttle would flicker on brake.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
So your brake wanted to join in as much as the throttle was going on?
Yes. So...
Wonderful.
I think I told you about that multiple times.
You probably, but it's been a while since we mentioned it.
Yes.
So Berserker then holding station in second in the LMP1s. As Endless then continues to dominate reign, getting back under the 40s with that 39.9 last time around. Yorkie is 45 seconds behind Berserker at least, so closer to 50 in the grand scheme of things. In the lead Toyota, and pretty much that's where he is likely to stay. One tyre in fourth, further 5 seconds down the road in the next Toyota. Toyota 3 and 4, they are teammates, so a decent haul of points for them. Nunu in 5th in the next Audi, 25 seconds behind one tyre. Is quite some way back, and Garkey is a long way back. He's a lap down in the lead Porsche. Jezza in 7th. Next Porsche down the road finds one of the GTE Porsches coming through Cops. Zanchik, next one down the road, 6.5 seconds behind Jezza, so it could well be a... Oh no, cat, don't be doing that. My cat has hit my cat hit my escape key then, so my cat's obviously wanting my full attention and not for me to be commentating any longer.
Please don't do this, because then I will I'll be screaming what we are seeing.
Yes, no one can see it. Yeah, that would be an interesting. You'd be doing a radio stream essentially.
Yes, this would be a podcast.
Yeah, it would be a podcast. Yes. Zenny and Scott. Oh, look at the time difference between Zenny and Scott last time around. 2 thousandths in it to Scott's favour. 146.604, 146.602, but 4 seconds separates the lead pair of LMP2s now. So. Slightly unfortunate there for Scott. Spudbuster is 9th and is actually 13 seconds behind this particular battle as far as on-track position is concerned. Takuza is 3rd in the LMP2s. He is quite some distance behind the front runners of the class. 25 seconds ahead of Colonel McCoy, who is in 4th. There he is in the orange LMP2. With Crop then 50 seconds down from there. And it's Blast a Lot in the 6th place. LMP2 is actually down in 20th. He was the one that had that impressive spinning. Oh dear, it was a reshaped Corvette then. I believe it was Blast a Lot that was the spinning orange LMP2.
Yes, it was Dawu.
And that was Dawu that, yeah, exactly as you say, was the reshaping Corvette. That'll be why he's having a pretty bad day today. Leading the GTEs has been and remains Leon the sick one. 10 seconds ahead of Bo. I believe that's going to be Bo's best result if he can finish 2nd in class. So a great effort for him in the Ford. Andrex in 3rd. But Andrex is quite some distance behind Bo. 16.5 seconds separates them. So he will be relying on a mistake of some description to close that gap down, I would imagine, but you never know. We've seen plenty of mishaps going on in this race. 4th is Van Ommen in the Corvettes. There is, and oh, that's someone coming in. Oh, Marauder, he's had a problem in the... Oh, TBW had a 4-minute lap. Oh dear. There's been a problem then between TBW and Marauder, because Marauder was way up the order in the M6 before that, although he's only had 5 litres left in the tank, so he's probably been in to deal with whatever issue, but a 4-minute lap from TBW. Oh dear, oh dear. Scott now beginning to get back on the pace, starting to close that gap down. He gained 4/10 on Zenny last time around, 45.8 from 46.2. Getting
that seems a bit of miscommunication coming out of that fast right hander entering towards the entrance of Magnussen and Beckett's. That could lose him quite a bit of time, depends where Zenny's came through in traffic. Hopefully this LMP2 in front of them will let them by. Blue flag rules still apply for same class, not for same race. So if a GTE has the blue flag to an LMP2, they are allowed to keep their line. It is the LMP2 or LMP1's job to make the safe pass.
Indeed, so Zenny did it, sorry, not Zenny, that'd be Takuza, I believe, has let Scott through. Takuza had a terrible lap last time around, 49.9, third in class. So there you go, the top two of the LMP2s are the only ones that share the same map, I think. Yeah, the only other, I mean, looking at the map, there is a white dot on there, that's actually Spudbuster, who is in LMP1, so no other LMP2s are on the same lap. There is Takuza, yeah, so Takuza's just been lapped by the top two LMP2Hs, okay, now the LMP2s are hybrids.
Yes, I am interested in seeing this race. Unless Scott and Zenny have had the new version of the LMP2s.
Ah, that's, yeah, new rules, literally halfway through Silverstone.
Yes.
Ping, there it is.
They've just added a battery inside the vehicle. It's attached to the front end of the hood.
Yeah, so they don't. Yeah, if that's the case, I don't want to lose the noses. If that's the case, the whole battery pack disappears. But yeah, that gap between Zenny and Scott now around about 3 seconds. What was Zenny's lap last time around? 46.5, 46.7 for Scott last time around. So both of them, I think, probably getting caught in traffic as they now go. Oh, that could hurt Zenny. It rather depends on how well he gets around Marauder. Ooh, would have put him off a little bit before he got the chapel. But Scott won't have an issue with that. Yeah, I could see that cost about half a second for Zenny there on Scott, and Scott will see that. Scott will start to be able to smell blood in the air. The sun is most certainly rising. Oh no, and Ney himself gets stuck behind the M6. Streaming on down towards Vale.
He's going to be chasing the scent of rubber following from Zenny. Slight bit of blood, but possibly from the person he hit, describing from that livery.
Yeah. See what the laps were. Oh, it's a decent one from Scott. 46.0, 47.4 for Zenny. Yeah, so 1.5 seconds gone from that class lead for Zenny. Enders has had a bit of a mare as well with a 42, but he's got 10-second lead now over Berserker. Goodness me. I think that's a mistake from Berserker. I mean, Enders' pace has been pretty damn good, but I think that's more a mistake from Berserker somewhere. As yeah, that gap as a material, the gap between Endless and Yorkie hasn't increased by the same amount. So I think Berserker's had a problem somewhere that we didn't see.
Looking at the timing of penalties in particular with Scotty and Zen, all Scott has to do is get behind Zen. If those penalties still apply, and he will win class. If those penalties don't apply, he may want to get past just in case he do go to stewards and do get revoked. So this is still going to be an interesting race all the way to the end. Only 2.5 seconds separate them currently coming from Maggots and Beckett. As soon as, say, one gets into the slipstream of the other, we're going to see that gap come way down, especially rolling around the pit stops. Whoever can take the least amount of fuel but still keep it safe.
Oh, Berserker's in the pits.
Interest.
Berserker's come in. He had 12 litres on board. That's an interesting decision from Berserker. Unless he's picked up damage somewhere.
Yeah. Unless he made a mistake, picked up some damage, and he's just coming in now since the fuel will get him to the end. Coming in now to get that damage repaired, get fuel in the car, and just drive it out to the end.
Yeah, so looking just to be on a different strategy to those around him. I'm not often the broadcaster, so I actually get to play with that custom camera there that I just triggered on Yorkie. That's just me playing with toys. And now I've confused the camera. Oh yeah, I've well and truly confused the camera now. It's pointed. That'll teach me, won't it? Change camera a second. Oh, hopefully. There we go. I was staring up. My camera was literally staring off into space. That'll teach me. Oh, that's. It looked like a Porsche that was. One of the LMP1 Porsches off the road. Oh, Spud. Yes. He's got no rear wing again. Oh, Spud Buster. And oh no.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's an unusual line, but he's doing a fair bit of lawn mowing out there. But it's a way that he can keep out of trouble. As Endless from the race lead brings his car in. There he is. So 2.7 litres still in the tank for you.
The lap times from Scotty and Zenny though are getting faster and faster each and every lap. 146 last lap. Now 145's 9s and 145's 6.
Oh, Zenny's in
from Zenny and Scotty.
Zenny's in. Oh, that's the ball. That's yeah, that's an unusual way of entering the pit. That's a strange one. Has he had a problem? I can't do the. I can't play with the cameras when they're in the pit lane. As Enders comes out, he remains in the lead.
What could possibly be happening is looking where Scott and Zenny are. They're pitting now, so they don't have to deal with the traffic right now, and maybe let the traffic spread apart and then get through.
Could be. I mean, they'll be able to take on easily enough fuel to get to the end. And Scott looks set to do a pretty good lap. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. I accidentally hit the camera button there. Change the camera again.
Accidentally.
I did. No, I can't prove it.
Nope. Yeah, sorry, Kodiak. We're gonna have to remove head commentator from yourself.
That's it.
You have messed with the cameras way too much.
Fiddled too much. Yeah. Endless came and back out of the pit, still remaining in the race lead. Still 3 seconds ahead of Yorkie. Now Yorkie won't have to pit for a while. He's still got just under 50 litres on board. There is Yorkie. Oh no, big one. That was. Oops! That's a Porsche GTE facing the wrong way. Is that TPW? It is.
Yep.
What a shame. He's had a problem through Maccas and Beckett's.
I am finally getting used to whose cars are cars now.
Spudbuster has made it back to the pits. So he will be in there a while. Well, he has been in there a while already. And now he finally gets back underway. Yorkie now in second, but he's going to find it pretty difficult, I suspect, to chase after Endless's pace. I think anybody is going to struggle to keep up with Endless's Esgarki. Comes in from 6th place along with Crop. Crop's been in relatively recently, so... Oh, Garki still had 22 litres on board. There is Crop.
It's peculiar to see these people coming in with those large amount of fuel at this point, especially. What I would be assuming is people possibly trying to run their fuel as long as possible. Less fuel in the car, the faster you are going to go. Less weight and the less it will take to get a car around the corner.
Indeed, and less time you have to spend in the pits taking on fuel for your final stop. But it's
actually around the same.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yes, because at the end of the day, you're still refilling the exact same amount of fuel.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, we have to take you through the basics of endurance racing again. I've been commenting on it way too long, you've forgotten the sport.
Well, at least I've done all the races so far this season.
And who's the commentator here?
Boot. Right. We are down to 24 cars now. We've lost a couple of our GTEs. We're down to 9 of those now. We're going to be ones that we still got on board. Yeah, we're 11 at one point. We're down to 7, I think. Oh, Nunu Berserker. Oh, that could have got ugly. Berserker had to jump out of the way of that. Wow, that could have got very, very nasty. But everybody managing to keep the nose clean. No one, no exchange bits of bodywork there. Oh wow, endless again back in the 39s, 39.3. Talking with 44.4, so he got caught out with a bit of traffic or a mistake there. But now, well, Nunu's not letting that go though. Oh, hello. Thinking about the move on the inside of Stowe, but wanted not to go for that. That's fuels Nunu got. Oh, he's that'll be why he might not challenge too hard. He's got a fairly empty tank.
Yeah, so you more likely see him come in over the next 2 laps, I'm assuming.
In that region, sure.
Yeah, it's around there.
Oh, what's happened to Zenny? He's a minute behind Scott. He's had a problem.
Oh!
He's had a problem because they both came through the pits, haven't they?
I don't think Scott's been in the pits yet. No, Scott.
Oh no, Scotty hasn't. No, beg your pardon. I thought Scott had been through the pits. Whereas, ooh, that's going to be interesting when Scott does his start. But Scott's been on absolute flying form. His lap times have been pretty damn good compared to where his best is. Oh, it was Lindholt, is one of our lost GTEs as his game had crashed. Oh, great shame for you. That's such a shame when you've been racing this long as we're fast approaching just 30 minutes to go. And for a technical problem like that to rob you of a result is a great shame indeed.
Why I'm slightly curious about, especially between Scott and Zenu, is how probably more fuel than Zenu has had to take. He is going to be running slower laps. Just due to the fuel amount, the car being a lot more weighty, the tyres aren't being as grippy as they were at the start. I wonder how far back Zeno will be when Scott comes out the pit, and how fast will he be compared to Scott at that point?
That is a very good question, which we should hopefully have an answer within the next few laps, as Dakuza comes in from 3rd. A scheduled stop for him, only 6 litres left in the tank. Could have gone a little bit longer, but not too much more. Conor McCoy will be in fairly soon. Road, and he does, so Conor McCoy then takes 3rd place for now. Less than 32 minutes remain. How much fuel's Yorkie still got? He won't have much left. Oh, it still has 20 litres on board. You ain't going to make that last to the end of the race, I would have thought. No, can't do, nowhere near it.
No, okay, not possible.
Unless you crawl. Although in the Triple Crown Le Mans event, which my co-commentator for the F1 League, Hamish Sopwith, actually took part on, he had a pit lane problem where he came in for a scheduled stop, but his pit crew didn't flag him in, and he actually ended up coming back out of the pit and crawled all the way round Le Mans on like a litre's worth of fuel, and he ran out of fuel literally about 20 or 30 yards before the pit lane entry. He was so close. He'd made a whole lap literally just basically on hybrid energy alone and hopes. And he was so close. It wasn't commented on that someone should give him a push, but nobody did. He retired, so he came to join me in the commentary box that particular day. But yeah, that was a bit of a shame. So Blast a lot. We haven't seen him for a while. 6th in class, 9 seconds behind Van Ommen. Van Ommen is one of our GTEs, however. Some distance behind the LMP fields.
Right now, GT's pit stops, and in the last 30 minutes, we're not going to see much battling until everyone is finished with their stops. Probably last 50 minutes, 20 minutes, we're really going to see people push, going for those more aggressive overtakes, for a better word.
Nunu's in. Nunu from 5th position. Again, that's earlier than expected, but 11 litres still on board. Could have gone a bit longer. Could be damage, could be tyres. Yorkie presses on. One tyre. 4 and a bit seconds behind him. There is one tyre. 17 litres. So Walton's got a bit more fuel on board, but not a significant amount. As he dances around Dawo's Corvette. We only know that one's him because of the reshaping going on in the front. Same way that we identified Spudbuster's Porsche for a while.
Yes,
wow.
I believe they figured out it wasn't the greatest advantage.
46.3 from Scott. He was quicker that last lap, and in he comes. Scott is in from the LMP2 lead. He could not, well, he didn't want to risk doing a borderline. How apt, considering that's what Borderline's name is and how close he was to an empty fuel tank. So where is Zenny then? That's Woodcote. That's Woodcote, so that's a fair amount of distance to cover. Where I'm assuming Scott's come to a stop now. Would have done by that, yeah. Into Maggers and Beckett's. Scott's still yet to move. See the white dot in the pit lane is Scott. Zenny pushing with everything he has got.
I wonder if Zenny may have slightly overfueled, because 60 litres isn't a bit much at this point. That might just be me miscalculating.
Well, we had a fight with Matt earlier on. Scott now underway, and that's going to be, I would say he's going to come out pretty comfortably ahead of Zenny, because Zenny's just going to be bailed now. And now Scott is out of the pits, so that's a big lead that Scott's got for himself.
What is the fuel comparison? No, it's around the same.
Near enough the same, so Scott probably got that calculation right. Well, or Zenny got it right, considering they're a similar amount now, and Zenny came in quite a number of laps ago. So the maths might be right, but that's given because Scott stayed on a lighter fuel tank and really blasted through the lap times. He is now 8.5, nearly 9 seconds ahead of Zenny now. So Zenny is going to have to work very, very hard in the closing stages of this race to reignite that battle for LMP2.
Yes, because what I'm assuming with what these guys have done, well, more than likely what these guys have done, is calculate their fuel beforehand, figure out how much fuel they have to take on the last stop, and when they can pit, when their pit stop window opens, so they can come in earlier. Try to get an undercut if it works out. Absolutely amazing if they get stuck in traffic. It would be a slight issue.
I thought that was someone in the pits.
Might be what we saw here with Zenny.
Could be. I thought someone was in the pits then, but no one is. I'm expecting to see Yorkie and Warntire in soon. Oh, that's close. There is Yorkie. Well, still 14 litres on board, so could go on for a while yet. There is Warntire. Almost identical amount of fuel in both of them. They won't have to share a pit box. 4.5 seconds between the pair, between the two Toyotas. That's a GTE Porsche. Berserker in a fair amount of traffic. 25 seconds behind Warntire at the moment, so Berserker will almost certainly inherit second when the two Toyotas come into pit. 50 seconds ahead of Nunu, so he's not going to be in any immediate danger position-wise. It's going to be a pretty decent result for Berserker at this rate. And another sub 40 for Endless, 39.8. Absolutely Liga 1 for the LMP leader. Oh, that's wide. Yeah. Caught the last apex coming through Beckett's and pushed him a bit too wide coming through Chapel.
Yeah, so what I'm assuming what will happen after these pit stops from Yorkie and Warntire is how close will Berserker be to them? Will he pass them in the pits? 30 seconds around that, 25 to Yorkie, around 20 to Warntire. You might get past Warntire, Yorkie might just come out behind or just in front. It'll be interesting to see.
Berserker did a 37.9 the previous lap. He did 39.0. Wow! Berserker is now alive. I mean, he's got 40 seconds to close down to try and catch up with Ender. How much fuel's Ender's got? Nah, near identical, 34.35. So he can't hope for fuels. Colonel McCoy comes in from third. The twos. He was on a different strategy to the rest of the class, so that's not a surprise. He'll take on the necessary fuel to get into the checkered flag. There is Scott, 10 seconds ahead of Zenny, so that gap has increased. 46.4 for Zenny last time around. Let's see what Scott clocks up this time. He's already done the outlap. Oh, look at that, a 45.5 with a bit of help from the Corvette there. A little bit of slipstream. what does Zenny clock up? 47.5, 2 seconds gone to Scott there. Absolutely flying there in the blood-splattered black LMP2. Leon has been pretty untroubled. Well, that was the Corvette that Scott just danced around. He's been untroubled at the front of the GT class all race long, with a 12-second gap to Bo. That hasn't increased dramatically over the race, but whether you win by an inch or a mile, a win is still a win, so it doesn't need to increase by masses. It just needs to make sure that he remains ahead. I think within half a tenth of one another last time around, with a 158.7 for the pair of them.
And definitely P1 and P2 currently in GTE field is still at the point, if Leon makes a mistake and half spins at least, that could bring the gap down 7-8 seconds if it's in a fast section of the track, which then brings way into the battle in that forward.
Bo could definitely be in there.
What is Bo's top finish currently in this?
Let's see, do I still have... I do, let's see. Bo, he has yet to finish.
Oh.
He wasn't with us in Monza and didn't finish in either Daytona or Fuji, so this will most certainly be his best result of the season if he had to get to the checkered flag. And just under 23 minutes to go. What a race has been. Yorkie and Endless nearly on a similar lap time, and Worn Tyre getting under the 40s now. 39, treble 9. Nicely done. We should be seeing our Toyotas come in pretty soon. 9 litres left in the tank. You're good, Yorkie, but you ain't going to make that last 22.5 minutes, my friend. So a splash and dash for our Toyota pairing. It's unlikely he's going to repeat the victory from Monza, which he himself admits was a fluke. Skarky, who hasn't had the greatest of days, himself towards the tail end of our remaining LMP 180s. Working, that's not a nice place to be working your way past the GTEs. Baggers and Beckett's, but does so without too much hassle. There's a bit of slipstream from the black Corvette. Lead is Van Orman. Yeah, Van Orman had a bad lap last time around. 204. That is indeed Van Orman. Fourth in class. And Krop is in. Krop and Brzezinski both come in. Interesting, 7th and 14th respectively. That's odd. I wonder what's happened to those two. Have they come together?
Any damage on the vehicle?
14 laps of the fuel for you. Crop's already stopped. Crop's been in the pits quite a few times, so could have had another incident. Unfortunate. No such issues for this man.
Whilst this race is still coming down slightly. Oh, never mind. Mulder's been a second of Van Orman there. Just out of that fast left-hander coming down through. I can't remember the names of these corners.
That, my friend, is Brooklyn. So they are coming into now with Luffield, the 180-degree right-hander. I admit I have to have a track map. Every time I commentate, I always have a track map on my opposite monitor, as I am hopeless at remembering corner names, despite the fact I was sat there, so I know that one's Luffield, but the rest of them I do tend to... I remember the names, but I sometimes forget which one's where. Smolder now really piling the pressure on Van Orman. 20 minutes to go. The sun is well and truly up, and this is the time now that where fatigue will certainly be an issue, but they know they haven't got much time, so they need to make any moves they're going to do. They've got to really start thinking about doing them. As there's one of the Audis coming through.
Kodiak, you understand me and not remembering corners of tracks. Just as long as it's not an IndyCar track, I won't know the corners.
That's a fair comment. And to put context to that, Doc is a bit of a lover of the of the IndyCar. Ah, so that would be Enders that came through earlier. That's sorry, that's Yorkie that's coming through. Oops, that's a little bit unfortunate from Van Orman, turning a little bit too early when Yorkie was still there. Oh, Smolder nearly pushing the black and green Corvette along. Oh, there goes one tyre. Wow, so the LMP1s are so incredibly fast. So yeah, so Doc is a big fan of IndyCar. Doc has been a part of a number of my video series on my own YouTube channel, and would constantly, when we were rolling the car that we were going to use for the episode, what was the thing you used to keep chanting?
Oh, we're doing this now, come on.
IndyCar! IndyCar! And you did get your wish. We had a very amusing episode at Spa Historic and the vintage Indy cars where I inadvertently put... Oops! That's an LMP2 gone wrong. Who was that? Oh no, was it Zenny?
That was Zenny.
Oh, Zenny was pushing too hard to try and catch up with Scott and has just completely thrown that away. Whilst we were reminiscing about me planting you on the side of your wheels at Spa Historic and the vintage Indy car, Zenny then reminded us there is a race going on. Yeah, Zenny gained 3/10 last time around, but that has now completely been wiped out. As these two Corvettes then coming through, Maggotts and Beckett's.
Driving this car before, setup-wise, this car can actually put quite on the limit and relates to most on the GP3 side. My beautiful Mercedes AMG.
Ah, yes.
Oh! One tyre in Yorkie has switched positions.
Oh! As Yorkie's one tyre came in the pits before, and of course the line the pit lane takes. Oh, that's getting a little bit busy for Smolder. Oh, he's thinking about an outside manoeuvre coming into Vale. You've got to be very confident to do an outside manoeuvre there, especially in these things. In the LMPs perhaps, but in the GTEs you've got to be pretty damn brave to try something there. But on they go. One tyre then doing his final pit stop. Probably the final pit stops we'll see for fuel. I would imagine that Yorkie's going to be in a lap later, or a couple of laps at best. Out comes one tyre, remains in third position. Berserker did not manage to get ahead of him, but Berserker's right there! Oh, that is close. Now that could... Now one tyre could act as a bit of a block for Yorkie. They are teammates, they do share the same car, of course. Berserker is absolutely flying, 38.8, so he's had incredible pace for quite some time, but of course he's now right behind a freshly pitted one tyre. Oh, the tail of one tyre getting very, very out of shape, but manages to hold it, and that's going to give Berserker an inside line through left field. Oh, he chose not to commit to that. Oh, what a defensive move by one tyre. Shuts that door. And oh, here comes the Corvette battle we've just seen. Oh, impact between one tyre and Smolder. Side by side now coming through that corner. And now the Audi and the Toyota bang on the doors. Berserker does manage to get ahead of one tyre, but what a dramatic sequence of corners for these two. Yorkie's come in as well, so he's going to factor into this battle as well. Oh, that was quite something.
That could be a massive issue right now for one tyre. If his car is damaged at all, that's lost him position to Berserker.
But Berserker's had incredible pace. Yeah. He's been faster than Endless for quite a number of laps now. He's still 50 seconds down the road. Where is Yorkie though? Yorkie's coming. Oh, that was very nearly a collision. Out comes Yorkie. He remains in second, but he's got a charging Berserker coming up behind him. Let's see what the timing is. 2.5 seconds. So a bit more of an advantage than what one tyre had, but don't discount one tyre. Of course, when Berserker catches up to Yorkie, Yorkie's not going to make that easy for him. And if we have another issue like we had with one tyre on Smolder here, then anything can happen in that particular battle. Less than 15 minutes to go.
Yes. Talking about the point of sub with this Corvette, if you guys have drove the GT3s, in particular, this comes closest to Beloved Mercedes AMG. just due to the fact of how long that nose is. That nose kind of points the car.
And they are both big roaring beasts, the AMG and the Corvette.
That might be the way they like the car.
I didn't say anything of the sort. Beautiful cars. And the Mercedes hasn't had a great deal of representation in the GT3 League. The first season we ran in Project Cars 2 was first two seasons was very Ferrari dominated. And last season, with the Ferrari being banned, it was the Audi showcase, although not to the same degree, not the same percentage that the Ferrari ruled the roost. Oh, Van Holm is wide. Let's open the door for Smolder, and that was an easy move, a gutsy move on the outside of that last apex, but yeah, Van Holman just got all out of shape coming through Beckett's, and through goes that yellow Corvette. He's been lingering in that rearview mirror for a long time, and Yorkie has yielded to Berserker whilst we've been looking at that. Although Berserker does still have a fair amount of time penalty on. Warntime's got 20 seconds. Ooh, I mean, that won't actually lose him 4th place, but that's going to sting a little bit. That could actually be 2 consecutive pit lane speeding penalties.
And Berserker has got by Yorkie.
He did. A couple of seconds now separates them. Oh, steady Berserker, but Berserker does have 11 seconds worth of penalties, so Yorkie just has to remain in that. I mean, that in itself is not going to be an easy feat because Berserker has been so fast. And this maybe is what he's mindful of. Maybe thinking, I've got to get that far ahead of 3rd place to remain on that middle podium, on that 2nd podium spot. We will see.
Yes, these are the points of the races where people kind of throw caution to the wind. Yes, they want to get these high-end point position, but they might want to hold it. They might want to go for more. Endless with only the 3-second penalty might more likely won't catch him. Endless can make a massive mistake though, causing him maybe go into the wall, or what we saw back in Daytona, a possible disconnect. God forbid. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
at these points in the races, Berserker's probably just putting his foot down, going as fast as he can, and just trying to make that space between him and Yorkie.
Wow, that gap is already up to 4.5 seconds. Oh my god, Berserker is absolutely flying. 4 seconds gain in that last lap, around 38.5 for Berserker. He's leaving nothing on the table. He's pushing as hard as he can. We have got less than 11.5 minutes remaining in this race. There is Yorkie, and Berserker is on for another personal best here, as you can see on the Delta, as Jezza brings his car in again. There went the prediction of not seeing any more pit stops for the remainder of the race. Wowee. Oh, that could incur a penalty for Berserker. That could add actually a penalty to him. You could have it contested, but the small penalties tend not to be unless, of course, it costs a position. But at the pace Berserker is showing, I think Yorkie's going to really struggle to remain in that 11-second bracket. I mean, Berserker's certainly not showing any sign of letting the warning go down. He's still up on his best lap. What's the penalty count now for Berserker? Probably would have applied by now. No, still 11. 37.9 against 37.6 is the best laps between Berserker and Endless. So the Audi absolutely ruling the roost today.
Yes, knowing the Audi in particular has great downforce levels. I believe the Audis, at least in IRL, their low downforce pack is around the same as the Porsche's high downforce. That's correct.
Wow.
Or it's the other way. It's either or vice versa.
Yeah.
I can't remember correctly.
37.7. So that if Berserker manages to find another 0.12 of a second, he'll match Endless's best race lap. I'm sure that's not really on his mind right now, but he's got to also keep in mind he's going to be running it a bit tight on fuel. He's only got 16. Oh, there goes a road code. He's only got 16 litres in the tank. Yorkie's only got 15 litres in the tank, so that doesn't help Yorkie any. There's one tyre.
they're all around the same amount.
Yeah.
So if we see one person run out, it's probably more
They're
likely
all going to have to do it.
Yeah.
So if anything, Yorkie's actually at a disadvantage because the Audis are supposed to be a bit better on the fuel consumption. Endless with the 42, but I mean he's so far ahead he can really coast at this stage. That's not quite what I meant, Endless, as he gets Village very, very wrong, but he's got so much lead that he essentially just ignore Top Gear at this stage. And
yes, just go on the Sunday drive in a fabulous LMP1 hybrid.
Absolutely. The gap continues to rise between Berserker and Yorkie. Oh, just not like that though. He gets a big tank slapper coming out of Vale. That's going to cost him. That's going to cost him time. Yeah. Even though he had that big moment there, he was still at 39.8. My goodness me. And Yorkie was a 40.2. So at that pace, yeah, I don't think Yorkie's going to be able to, unless Berserker gets a monstrous penalty added to his time, or he has some kind of major problem. I don't think Yorkie's going to be able to stay within the time he needs to inherit second. This is exactly what Berserker needs to do. He's got 8 minutes or 8.25 minutes at a 1.25 minutes lap. So what are we looking at? 4 or 5 laps left. He's got to absolutely push.
Yes, and what seems to be happening as well, Berserker may have set up its car for the second half of the race. We do have people who set up their cars for certain sections, maybe faster at the start, slower at the end due to the change in temperature, the tyres being slightly more worn, or the other way around, or people going for a baseline that can balance the whole way out, not the fastest at any point in time, but generally overall good.
Yeah.
How people like their cars and how they feel like they are going to get a win or a podium position.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, Endless has lost a fair chunk of time again, and even still, he's still 39 seconds down the road. Whoa, Berserker steady.
One thing though that we need to look at, if Berserker still wants to get that P1 win, he still has to gain that 11-second gap on Endless.
Yeah, that's going to be, he's going to basically gain the best part of a minute in, what, less than half a dozen laps. So that would rely on Endless throwing it into the wall.
Looking a bit further down the grid now between Scotty and Zenny, it seems like Zenny has fallen off the back from Got a lot. The time still kind of bouncing back and forth, but around 18 seconds separates them currently.
That's a shame. We were looking forward to that one going to the line, but that's just how the strategy's played out. Zenny is getting back on the podium. Oh, 40, wow, 45.4 from Zenny. What a stunning lap time there. That's his best of the race so far. That's a cracker. So he's not giving up, but he does rely on the bad luck falling upon Scott at that stage. What's the penalties? 10 seconds of Scott, 6 of Zenny, so only 4 seconds of difference penalty-wise. Which of course he's well outside of that. Now, that's actually Spudbuster directly behind him, who is track position behind him, but of course in a completely different class. So Spudbuster will have to find his way past, which he should do, but he really has struggled with the Porsche here at Silverstone, I think it's fair to say. Again, just looking at the gap between Berserker and Yorkie. Oh, that's Zenny off into the wall.
That's Zenny.
I think fatigue is probably really taking its toll now. I mean, he's nearly 2 minutes ahead of Conor McCoy in third, so he limped that. Oh, that's not a happy car.
Not at all. Yes, at this point, especially getting past Scott at one point and falling back again, that takes a lot out of a driver mentally as well. Of, I know I'm faster, he's also fast. Who's faster? Am I faster than this guy? Can I actually win this race?
Yeah. And now he's got a car that won't steer straight, and that's the last thing you want. But, well, there you go.
Genuinely won't.
Oh, he's actually bringing it in. I actually thought he might limp that one to the end, but he's opted not to. I mean, it is a genuine pain to try and drive a car like that.
Yes.
But he's nearly 2 minutes ahead of Conor McCoy. He probably will still come back out ahead and remain in second position. So it's like, well, I may as well. He'll keep it on the road and stop throwing it completely off.
Yes, to what might happen, especially if that front of the car is damaged. He may have got engine damage also, which also may have blocked airflow. If he takes it around and pushes slightly too hard, he could blow his engine. He might just be making it safe.
Yeah, can't blame him there.
Might be seeing another Andrex at work.
It's going to take him a while to live that down, I suspect. So then we have less than 4 minutes to go. Endless leads by 38 seconds from Berserker. Berserker's got, what's the gap Berserker to Yorkie now? 14, 15 seconds. Yeah. So he's overcome. Let's just check if Berserker's got any more penalties. We did see him wander off the road, and he hasn't. 11. So that's remained at 11 seconds. So he has got sufficient gap to defeat the penalty. He will remain in second, unless, of course, something changes in the remaining 3.5 minutes. Yorkie leads a worn tyre third and fourth. Oh, wow, that didn't go well for Berserker coming out of the loop. And Zenny comes back out of the pits. He does indeed remain in second in class. There is worn tyre. He is 12 seconds behind Yorkie. He's got some penalties on the board, but he's over a minute ahead of Nunu in the next Audi down the road. There he is, who is nearly 3 minutes ahead of Jesus. So the LMP field is exceedingly spread out. He's been through the pits quite a few times.
Battle as if we saw Daytona. I'd say with Daytona in particular, it's a, I want to say, more simple track. I love that track in particular due to the fact that it brings out great racing due to those long straights, keeping slipstream. Kind of keep classes a bit more bunched up, harder to get through traffic, yes, but great racing, and that's what we're all here for at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So it does look a pretty sure win for Endless and for Scott of the LMPs. And Leon again has been in the class of 1 in the GTEs. He has lost some of his lead to Bo, but not enough for him to worry about it. That's not Bo directly behind him. Bo will just be coming onto the Wellington straight now. So Leon, and there is Bo. Yeah, he is side by side with someone. That's probably Colonel McCoy that's come past. So a great result then for Bo, considering he hasn't seen the checkered flag so far this season. That'll be a wonderful confidence boost for him. Andres in a very, very respectable third on the Aston. As once again, he said he wasn't confident on the performance of the British mark, but once again he's putting in a brilliant result, a lovely, very solid podium. He's 46 seconds ahead of the next Corvette of Smolder. So looks like these positions, unless someone has a major incident, these positions are pretty much set then. As that is Smolder coming down the Hanger Straights. 14 seconds ahead of Van Ommen. As we have just over a minute to go. So Endless then with a 32 second. Oh, that's a Porsche that's corrected themselves.
Guessing that is, yes.
It's TBW. Oh no, it wasn't TBW. TBW was behind that incident. So I forgot who else is in the Porsche. It was F1 Racer. He's the only other Porsche out there. So Endless then on his final lap. Oh, F1 Racer, no, that's not how you do that. Well held, Endless. Very well held indeed.
I guess this is what we get for commentators' curse. Good to be on the non-receiving side from this.
Yes, this is a very comfortable seat in races like this. So Endless then can just cruise. Now, as much as the lead has dropped, it's not going to drop anywhere near enough for him to be under pressure for the win. Coming around Luffield for the final time. He has had control of this race from lights to flag, through Woodcote towards Cops. Still throws it in there at 160 plus. Into Maggots and Beckett's. He's not leaving anything to chance, is he?
Part of the track everyone loves seeing, even the F1 cars go through, and even the old school GT, well, the lower class GT4s, GT5s go through that section of the track. It brings great racing. It's just excellent to see these fast cars go through there.
Through Stowe, towards Vale. The checkered flag awaits. TX3 Endless through Vale. Your winner for the 2 hours of Silverstone is the Audi of TX3 Endless. Well and truly deserved flash of the light. He is very, very happy with that. Berserker is going to take a very, very also well-deserved second place. There's a lot of cars, around. That is one of the Porsches, either TBW or M1 Racer. There is Scott to take the LMP2 win. That was a good spot there, Doc.
No, he is actually Sector 2.
Oh, is he? I thought it was...
Yes.
Oh, yes, so he is. Yeah, wrong start finish line. There's Yorkie. Oh, is there... Oh, that's where everyone stopped.
Wait.
No, he was there. Yeah, he was
he's
there.
in P1 for GTE.
Oh, what's happened to Leon? Leon's second.
Is in P2.
Oh, what's the penalty count? Bo had no penalties. Leon had 10 seconds. Oh, he's lost it because of a pit lane speed limit. Oh no, Leon! Due to a pit lane speed limit infringement, he's lost the lead. He must have. I mean, they were 12 seconds apart when last looked at, and Leon is just going to drive that to the wall. Oh, Leon, you led the whole race of GTE, but Bo, from not having seen the flag at all, and yeah, be happy about it, my friend. Be happy about it. Oh, once again, we see that he's going to drive the wrong way. Be my guest. No such problem for Scott, though. So Endless takes the LMP1 win. Scott takes LMP2, and in dramatic fashion, GTEs goes to Bo in the Ford. Yeah, he's happy about it, and I'm not surprised. Just waiting for the last cars to come across the line.
As of tradition, every class do endurance together.
Yeah,
outside of T1,
and trying to kill one another as well. So the official classification then. This is before any penalties are appealed, of course, if the drivers choose to do so. Endless, Berserker, and Yorkie are the podium finishes for LMP1, with Warden Tyre 4, Nunu 5, Jazza 6, Garki 7, Brazanchik classed as 8th with Spudbuster 9. And LMP1, Scott, Zenny, and Conor McCoy are the podium sitters. Dakuza 4, Crop 5, so Blasterlot 6. We only had 6 surviving LMP2s. And in the GTEs, Bo takes the win from Leon Andrex. He takes the 3rd podium spot with Smolder 4, Van Omen 5, F1 Racer 6, Derby 7, TBW 8, and Marauder rounds out the finishing positions. Wow.
That was an incredible race.
It was indeed. Wow, goodness me. Now, with normally we kind of go and see who wants to speak to us. For an endurance race, I don't do that because they've been going for a damn long time. So I'm going to wait just a few minutes to see if any of them wants to come and talk to us. Yeah, we'll let them make the decision. And Andrex and Dawu. Al Scott, good. TBW, oh, interesting. He's made himself ready for interview as well. We will grab them over in just a second. But, wow.
Just going back to that GTE win, when we last checked, there was around 12 seconds between Boy and Leon. Looking at total time, there was only 3 seconds from difference between when they... No, that's 3 seconds after penalties.
After penalties, yeah.
So there were...
So he must have lost about 5 seconds in the last few laps.
Yes.
Right. Oh, Nunu is in the ready for interview box. Right. Let's grab everybody over. Let's see if we're going to interrupt any conversations. And Zenny as well. Oh, they were all behaving themselves. That's no fun.
You just missed them.
Oh.
We know your game.
Spoil our fun. Yeah, because we haven't enjoyed commentating for the last 2 hours. Oh wow, what a race you guys put on for us.
We've been sat here arguing the whole time.
That's it. We've talked. We haven't even looked at the race. We left the session like 2 hours ago. No, right. Let's see. First, I got to come over to Scott. Wow, you had a lot to do to fend off Zenny for quite some considerable time.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a difficult win.
Yeah, but you look towards the end. You looked like you had it in hand. I mean, how did it kind of feel to you?
First of all, I found it. The car was really, really good. I felt like I had more grip than Zenny at the beginning of the race, and then basically once I got in front of him, I sort of just controlled the pace a little bit because I was using softs and I didn't want them to wear too much. But
wow.
Overall, I think he then started. I don't know where he got his grip from, but then he started really pushing, and then he overtook me, and then he went into the lead, and yeah, it was brilliant. It was really good.
And Zenny, yeah, I mean, we just did not know which way that was going to go. Unfortunately, kind of unravelled a bit for you in the closing stages. What are your thoughts on this race?
So at the start, I did a last-minute change. I was like, oh, because with the ×5 progression, which I didn't, which was a miss horse in the lobby. I was like, I'll put a hard on the front left, so my left tyre doesn't wear as much. And it was really, really bad at the start of the race. It was terrible. And then I kind of got to the point, like, this isn't ×5. So I had a hard on one side in the front left, and my all other 3 tyres were softs that had were really worn. Then my front left was fine, and I didn't have the right pit strategy to change my back tyres either.
Oh,
so
no.
I went to the first pit stop. I actually tried to change my tyres to hards. The pit crew didn't do that, so I didn't change my tyres. Then my teammate went to hards, and he said they were terrible and undrivable, so I'm kind of happy that happened. And then I went to the new softs at the end, and they had less grip than my more worn softs. And then I had a massive accident at the end. I crashed into a wall at like 150 mph.
Unfortunately, we did see you.
Did see that.
Oh.
Sorry, Zen, but yeah, we did.
Commentators curse.
Yeah, you made a very dramatic end to your race. We did wonder whether you were going to kind of crab that thing home, but you did decide to bring it in.
I just probably could have got to the end, but I had that many incidents and spins. I was just really annoyed. So I was like, I'm going to go for best lap. And I actually got it on like 2-3 laps to go.
Oh, nice. Well played.
Do we have best lap points in this?
That's up to Andrex to answer. No, I didn't think so, but I did want to jump in with the wrong answer. Well, from joys and jubilation there, it didn't go so well for some of our drivers. Darwi, we didn't really see much of you except for your reshapen nose. What happened to you?
Yeah, stupid stuff, I would say.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I got a little touch with Bo, but that was quite fine. But after that, someone rejoined very badly later in the race, and Ticklish tried to avoid him. And I was coming, and you can imagine the rest of it. And after that, later, I also had a little contact with Yorkie in the very fast section, turn 2. And he touched me, and I was flown off again, so bye-bye. I pit again. And I had to pit again for a little bit of fuel in the end, so...
Oh, goodness.
At least I'm not last, so...
TBW, we spotted you kind of facing the wrong way a couple of times. So was that a bit of a struggle, I think it was fair to say, for you today?
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you. Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't really... I mean, I was on pace. I mean, I wasn't bad or anything, but the thing is that before the race, I forgot to put my radiator, open it, so it was fully closed for the race.
We knew someone else had done that.
Yeah.
But basically, Andrex's fault with not putting ×5 time progression on actually, I think, saved my race, because it would have gone harder over the race, so maybe my engine wouldn't have lasted, but it did last. When I went into the pits, I had 43 engine damage, and I sat in the pits for a good 2 minutes.
Yeah, you can pay me later for the settings.
Yeah, basically that saved me, those settings.
Oh goodness me! Well, Leon, that was yours. What happened?
I got shibated by my own teammate, Mr. Ranoman. I didn't practice. I just jumped in and took a setup, and I realized I didn't know where the pit entrance or the pit entrance began. And then so I was like, yeah, man, where is it? It's like, no, it's immediately, because it's a long pit lane. Are you sure isn't it later? No, it's immediately. So okay, it's a break earlier, and I see it like 10 mackerels in front of me.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh shit.
We saw that as well, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and then I lost the pit limiter and 10 seconds penalty. And in the end, I kept pulling away, but some reason some of the LMPs just want to pass you in stupid place and lose your time like seconds, especially in the end. I lost so many seconds because the LMPs passed me in like a lot of sections, and sometimes they almost spun me as well, but so that kind of lost me the race in the end, I guess.
There's too many of you for us to get through this time. There's going to be another couple of people I want to talk to. Andrex, once again, saying to me you weren't confident on how the Aston was going to do, and you pull home a podium.
Yeah, were you watching it? I was sideways half the race. And the back end, I don't know whose back end I have, but it's not mine, because it wasn't doing what I was telling it to do.
See, you did what I jokingly told you to do, which was put the Aston shell on top of the Red Bull.
It felt like it was not behaving incredibly well. I don't know. I was practicing with Hunter a couple of days ago, and we just couldn't get it to get much faster than what I managed to get out of it there. Hunter was struggling even more, I think, unfortunately. But I don't think it's an Aston track. But even then, I mean, I wasn't going to be catching those guys up ahead. But yeah, just a case of kind of trying to keep it clean. I didn't hit anything. I spun a couple of times, getting a couple of screen freezes as well. Certainly wasn't helping my cause. But yeah, they always hit you at the most inconvenient time as well. But,
I'm not sure there's a convenient time for one.
Well, there's a couple of straights that would have been alright with, but yeah, it's literally just on the kind of corner entry. But yeah, we're keeping the dream alive of team championship with an Aston on the podium again. So that's all we can do, really. Just almost damage limitation and just keep bringing the points in.
Finally, Mr. Yorkie has joined us in the box. Welcome to you. We missed you last week. So, yeah, you did. It didn't look like you were on course to kind of repeat the win steal from Monza.
No, I'll be that money that Tickle Pickle TPW is given to Andrex is coming straight back to me because I'm claiming that in compensation for having the wrong settings in the lobby. The car was very much set up for running in daylight and warmer conditions, so both me and Warntire didn't have the grip and the pace that we should have, so we struggled a lot. But even still, the Audi's pace was kind of ridiculous here. It's very surprising to see them in the 37s race pace. So that's kind of, it's boggled my mind a little bit as to where they got that from. But yeah, it did kind of, it was a race of just driving, thinking, oh, what could have been?
What could have been? But still a solid result though for you and Warntire. Very nicely done. I think we need to wrap it up now. So just leaves me to thank those that have been with us throughout the stream. Always very nice to have you on board. Thank you to AOR sponsors. They always welcome as well. Our drivers have been on a great show once again. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to Doc for being in control of the cameras and putting up with me for the last 2.5 hours. That is no easy feat.
You can say that again.
We will be back in 2 weeks' time for the next round. So until then, thank you very much and good night.